Hello and welcome everybody to tonight's showing of the Rainbow Six Pro League here for the Latin American Pro League. First ever here broadcasted here on this channel. My name is Sean Bloodbath Rosenbaum, and as you can see, Kix is not here at the moment. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, and unfortunately, as much as he wanted to be here, he just was unable to. He has provided some stats and some other information that we'll get to later on today. But for now, what's going to be going on is we are going to have the first play day of the Brazilian Pro League. Let's take a look at the schedule as how it's going to unfold for today. Today is going to be round one of Group A for the Brazilian Latin American Pro League, starting off with BRK Esports going up against Merciless Gaming. Right after that, we're going to have Santos Dexterity up against Nox Gaming. Now, these are 4 teams of the 8 from the Latin American Pro League, and we are going to be getting underway with them in just a few moments. But talking about BRK Esports and Merciless Gaming, BRK Esports is actually formerly known as Black Dragons, the team that everyone knew from the last season. Made it all the way to LAN and all the way to the finals to just barely lose to Penta Sports. But let's take a look at our schedule now, at our brackets for Group A. Again, this is a Group A and Group B standing, or Group B bracket system. Group A, as we said, are the 4 teams you're going to see played today. It's BRK Esports going up against Merciless. Winner will move to the winners match, and unfortunately the losers will have to go to the losers bracket below match number 2, which is Santos Dexterity and Nox Gaming. Again, these are the 2 matches we're going to see. They are best of 3, and I'm looking very much forward to the matches going on today. Let's take a look at Group B now. Group B, again, is going to be Black Dragons, INTS, Pain Gaming, and OPK. Now, the Black Dragons you see on your screen there for Group B is formerly known, I believe, as V3 Gaming, or V3 Masters from Season 1. They decided to change up orgs much like BRK, and we'll get into the rosters in a moment, but those are the big changes from what you might have not known previously. Again, the winners will move on to the winners bracket. Losers will unfortunately go to the losers bracket. The way these are set up, the way the schedules are set up and the brackets are, is that if you are an undefeated winner here, you automatically make it to LAN after 2 best-of-3 series. So we will be getting underway in the next 7 weeks to determine who are going to be going to LAN and what teams are going to have to fight for their chance to still get there. Now, we are going to get underway here in a few moments, but let's first take a look at how what teams. The rosters. The rosters that we're going to have for our teams. Starting off with BRK Esports. These names are going to look familiar to you. They were formerly known as Black Dragons from Season 1. We are going to have Zig, Yuke, One, Nesk, and Julio. I think Julio may have been one of their newer members or newer additions to the team. Again, all the stats you see here on the page are blank because we have stats per season. These are seasonal stats, and seeing as how this is the first game that will be seen here and will be shown in the Season 2 of the Pro League for Brazil, we don't have anything for you. Now, taking a look at our next team. Our next team is going to be Merciless Gaming. Merciless Gaming, their roster is going to be Noise, RCK, PX, Boar, and Milty. Now, for these players, we do have a couple pieces of information. There are some people to look out for. They came originally from Xbox, it seems like. They qualified 2nd from last season's Challenger League to get into this Pro League season. This is their first time in the PC Pro League. Their team captain is Boar, and he's a very smart strategist, and he's the team captain. He leads his team in almost every match and helps take them to victory, which is why they're here in the Pro League now, fighting for their chance to head into LAN and ultimately win that grand prize pool. So Merciless Gaming is going to be going up against BRK Esports to kick off the evening, and we are just underway here. We're waiting for the teams to get ready and for more information to come about that. But with today's matchups, we do have, again, the similar map pool, same rules as the European and North American Pro Leagues. If you guys are familiar or if you guys are unfamiliar, just tuning in now, we do have the same map pool. So we have 9 maps in the pool. Let's take a look at the map pool here for us. Now, the maps are the same from Season 1. We are going to have Bank, Border, Chalet, Clubhouse, Coastline, Consulate, Cafe Dostoevsky, Oregon, and Skyscraper. Now, all of these maps you guys are probably familiar with, Coastline being the newest addition to the pool, however, that was added during Season 1, and all the maps have stayed the same. Now, Kix and I previously have talked about how the map pool, while it has stayed the same, we will most likely be seeing similar maps as the preferred maps, such as the Consulate or the Chalet. We've seen a lot of Cafe recently. Now, with regards to the Brazilian and Latin American Pro League scene, they have seemed to stick with those maps for the most part as well. We don't see them stretching out to Coastline or stretching out to Bank most often. We do see them sticking around those core maps that every other team has. Now, the Pro League in general, all of the divisions, all of the regions around the world that participate in the Pro League, they tend to have a sense of intercontinuity, we'll say, where they work with each other, they try to gain information from each other and gain their different strategies to help encounter or help develop their own meta and their own strategies that they want to pursue. We've seen that with North America and with Brazil, and some from Europe as well. We know that some of the North American teams, such as Flipside, have used or have at least have taken advantage of some of the strategies seen in the Latin American scene. And we'll probably talk about those later on today. But as we unfold here, we are just waiting for the maps to start, or the map bans to happen. But with that, the games that we're going to be seeing today is going to be the Black Dragons again, or BRK Esports, up against Merciless to start. Nox Gaming going up against Santos Dexterity. The second matchup with Santos Dexterity, that team name might sound familiar to you guys from back in February as they qualified to get here for the 6th Invitational. Now, they made it to the semifinals, and I believe they lost to Continuum, if memory serves me correctly. But it was definitely one of the games that rung a bell in my head and kind of stuck to me. I remember they played on Border with Continuum, Santos Dexterity, and they picked an unusual bomb site, that Tellers. The Tellers and Bathroom bomb site on Border, which is on that first floor, one of the 3 on the first floor of Border, and it's something that a lot of teams weren't expecting. But Santos Dexterity seemed to make it their own, and they seemed to own it, and they did very well on it. Unfortunately, they just couldn't come out on top against Continuum. But we are having interviews right now, or we will be getting underway. Unfortunately, we don't have interviews. There's interviews for the Brazilian stream at the moment. But with that, we might have map bans up here in a moment. We'll have to take a look at those. Not yet, so we don't have map bans just yet. We'll get to those in a few moments. With the teams, though, with our 4 teams and the bracket system that we have, in this group stage, the top 2 teams from Group A and the top 2 teams from Group B will go head-to-head to determine the spots for LAN. Previously, we had 3 teams. In Season 1, we had 3 teams from North America, 3 teams from Europe, and 2 teams from Brazil that made it to the LAN event. Now, it's not clear yet if the structure is going to be the exact same, but ultimately, we will be reaching a top 4 from each group, and the top 2 from each group, Group A and Group B, will be moving forward. Now, continuing to talk about the bracket structure here in the system, it's very similar to how, it's the exact same actually, how we had it during Season 1. One of the things about the bracket structure that we seem to have now is that it's allowing teams to work their way up instead of just being given a spot or being handed a spot. Teams that want to participate in the Pro League need to engage themselves into the Go-Fours, get up into the Challenger League, and then make their way into the Pro League. At the end of each season, typically the 7th and 8th slot of the Pro League open up to the top 2 teams from the Challenger League, which is where we're seeing Merciless Gaming come from. They place 2nd in the Challenger League, and that's why they're here. Now, the 6th and 7th spots of the 5th and 6th spots of the Pro League, those 2 teams, the teams that placed 5th and 6th last season, had to fight their way in relegations against the 3rd and 4th teams from the Challenger League. We saw that happen with the Europe and North American regions. Unfortunately, I don't think we saw that with the Latin Americans on this stream, but we did get a chance to see that the Pro League teams still seem to make a comeback, and they fought for their positions, and they kept them. Now here in the Brazilian and the Latin American Pro League, I'm not quite sure if the Challenger League teams made it up. It does not necessarily seem like it, as we do have the second Challenger League team, the second place Challenger League team, going up against our first seed of BRK Esports. Now, thinking about the teams and what we might expect to see today. We know that Border is one of the maps that a lot of teams tend to favor. We do see the Latin American scene try to bring that out. We saw that at the 6th Invitational. We saw that during the LAN event. And typically what we've been seeing with the Brazilian and the Latin American scene has been sort of a different shift in the mindset and in the approach from an attacker going up against defenders. We heard it in some of the interviews and team intros during the LAN event, is that they use a tactic. I forget the Portuguese word for it, the phrase, but it was basically the idea of hunting the roamer. And so you'll see some of the Latin American teams use what is called pocket explosion, or pocket aggression, basically. It's a term that Kix gave me a little bit ago about using their power to instantly go after and collapse on roamers once they identify and where they find them out. And I expect that we'll see that here today on stream. Now, with that pocket aggression and being able to instantly go for a particular opportunity that the team sees is definitely something that's going to allow and open up windows for communication. You're going to see some of the best communication that we've seen here in the Pro League team with these teams going, because you need to know when exactly to push and when exactly to hold off, when you're going to be droning out, and when to collapse and receive the running roaming. Now, the maps that we might be seeing today, as we will get underway in a moment with the bans, is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood. I would not expect to see Coastline. The Coastline, again, is still a map that's being developed. A lot of teams have started inching towards it, but I haven't necessarily seen too many strategies and too many teams working on it in an open arena, trying to get it into the Pro League. I think there's still meta development on it that needs to happen in order for it to be seen, but I wouldn't necessarily call Skyscraper out of the limit. We've seen it a couple of times, especially here in the North American League, in the North American scene, but at the same time, other teams and other divisions and other regions have seemed to stay away for the time being. They want to bring up more of the older maps that have had more time to develop strategies and more sound strategies, which, again, every couple months does get turned upside down with the introduction of new operators, such as Mira. Mira is one of those operators that Kix and I, we constantly talk about how Mira is not an overpowered operator. She is a very effective operator that gets brought to the scene and gets brought to almost every defensive round, especially on ones where she's going to be able to utilize those windows to their max potential. Maps such as Oregon in the basement of Laundry, or on Consulate in the basement, or even up top where we see them inside of the bathroom or the connector windows. These are some of the things that we've typically seen the mirror windows on, and ultimately they seem to be very effective. They're now allowing a one-way window into the site or into a room that potentially otherwise would have just been had information given to the defenders by sound or the Valkyrie cameras. Thinking about how we might see tonight unfold, it's really a toss-up. We've had some roster changes, or some of the teams have had some roster changes, and we might be able to get into those later on if we have some time. But with the Pro League season the way it is at the moment, we are going to see a few I want to say surprises. We saw some surprises last week, or sorry, a couple days ago in Thursday, when we had a few of the teams come out of the woodwork. We had Penta go up against a former opponent from the Challenger League team, and Penta came out very strong, but they did have to fight for it. It went to 3 games straight against their opponents, and Penta came out on top, but just barely. It wasn't necessarily a run-of-the-mill match that they were expecting. So with that, there are multiple opportunities for any team to come out ahead, especially like we saw earlier on this year or this season with the North American scene. We had Omen and Flipside, with Flipside coming out on top, but one of the teams, Excellence Gaming, which was formerly known as Most Wanted, went up against Continuum, and that team, or that game, ended up in another 2-0 in favor of Excellence. Another game that the outcome wasn't necessarily expected. Here in the Brazilian Pro League, though, we are going to be keeping a key eye on some of the players. We talked about the roster earlier for BRK Esports and Nesk being one of the players. During the LAN event, we saw Nesk reach high heights, reaching double digits in almost every game he played. And one of the tactics, one of the strategies that we've typically seen here from BRK Esports has been basically a support role from the majority of the team to help make Nesk the most effective operator, most effective player on their team as possible. Some of their strategies seem to revolve around Nesk, making sure that he can perform at his top-notch skill by having the support of the rest of his team. One of the things Kix and I brought up on Thursday was how we'll call it odd or unique it is that Nesk was able to pull off some of the things that he did on Chalet against their opponents, or on other maps against some of their other opponents. And it all comes down to being knowledgeable about the enemies you're facing and being knowledgeable about the opponents you're going up against and how to best read them. If you can read your opponent well, one of the things that Nesk has done was bring back some older meta or some unpredictable things. Some of the things that you'll see pro players, they might go into a ranked game or they might go into a casual game, find something, and they might make assumptions about no one's going to be peeking that window or no one's going to be around that corner. Next thing you know, there's a player that doesn't know any better, and he's there around that corner, and you see the Pro League player going, why? Why is he doing that? Why is he there? And the same philosophy applies to Nesk, and he does that in a very effective way. He's around corners that people assume are clear. He's on different floors that people assume have already been cleared out. And he's in spots that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to be looking at today with Nesk and the rest of BRK Esports. Merciless Gaming, coming out of the Challenger League team and originally coming over from Xbox, has not necessarily seen too much light in the eyes of the world. And so we are going to be keeping a key eye on them as well to determine how they're going to unfold in today's matchups, as well as the rest of the Pro League. Now, today's game is on Saturday, obviously. We're here this Saturday evening, and it is a little bit of a different time than what you're normally going to catch for the Brazilian and Latin American Pro League. Typically, we have our North American Pro League on Monday, and that's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And however, on Tuesday is when the Brazilian and Latin American Pro League typically starts, and that will start at 7 p.m. Central European Time, which I believe is 2 p.m. Brazilian Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Basically the same start time as the European Pro League, which takes place on Thursday. So we have Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night, and unfortunately we are here on Saturday night due to a rescheduling conflict that we had to take into consideration. Now, we are still waiting on the teams to formulate and get on into the lobby here at the moment. But as we do get underway, as we do wait for these teams to go, one of the things that we want to talk about here, I want to bring up, is the fact about the difference in meta and how some of the strategies get developed and some of the strategies become their own. For example, with the Latin American scene not necessarily having an entire year to develop, such as the European and North American leagues have with regards to each other, they seem to have developed their own strategies in a sense of being on a, we'll call it on an island by themselves. They're finding out ways to win, finding out effective strategies and very strong ways of winning a map or defending a map that some of the European teams have not seen. But we are going to head on over here to our map bans now, with Merciless Gaming starting out first, as we do have each team banning 3 maps to give us 3 maps final for the ones that we're going to be playing. MLG is going to start it off here, and again, it's not likely that Coastline is going to make it all the way to the final 3. It is a potential, but until we see it banned, it's going to stay right down there where it needs to. Now, with regards to how these two teams play and their style of play, we know that BRK, from watching them during Season 1, they are a team that likes to play very aggressively. We've seen it before, but they've also been able to channel that aggression. They're able to channel that and tone it back in times of need, and they're very concise when they do that. Bank's going to be the first map banned out by MLG, or by Merciless Gaming, which again is not necessarily too big of a shock. It's a map that a lot of teams know of, they have strategies for, but it's just not the preferred or favored map for many teams. Bank is one of those maps that have typically 3 out of 4 bomb sites that teams will have strategies for, that top floor bomb site being the one that is not necessarily chosen most often. We have seen some teams go into that open area or into the tellers and archives room, but the basement is always one of those preferred holds. Cafe Dostoevsky being banned out early on here by BRK, which again might be a little surprising just due to the fact of how popular it is. But at the same time, that's probably one of the reasons why Merciless is so good at it, is because it is a popular map, and BRK is going to say, we don't want to necessarily play you on it. Oregon getting banned out here by MG. Now, again, these are some of the more popular maps, which is actually leading me to believe that we might see one of the DLC maps, whether it be Border, Skyscraper, or even a Coastline. We're halfway done the bans at the moment now, as BRK is selecting their second ban of the day. It's going to be Skyscraper. So Skyscraper gets the ban, and we will have to see what are going to be the last 2. Our 2 remaining DLC maps going to be Border and Coastline. Clubhouse getting the ban, and that means BRK is going to ban either Border, Chalet, Coastline, or Consulate. Now, I have a feeling we might be getting a Coastline ban here. Typically, it's one of the first bans. There it is. It's one of the first bans, or it is the last ban. Looks like Merciless is going to force BRK to utilize that last ban on Coastline. It means we've got Border, Chalet, and Coastline left to go. I'm sorry, Border, Chalet, and Consulate left to go. Now, we did get a chance to see Consulate yesterday, as well as a little bit of Chalet. Or not yesterday, I'm sorry, on Thursday. Consulate has been one of those maps that we've constantly talked about. And it's one of those maps that every single bomb site is viable if your team can put in effort. It's one of those bomb sites, one of those maps that you can play on any floor. You can play with nearly any strategy, whether it is a hunker down, put 4 or 5 men on site, or whether it's playing a roam game with 3 or 4 strong roamers leaving 1 man on site. It's one of those very diverse maps that can be played very vertically, as well as most of the floors of each of the levels are destructible. Taking a look here though, Merciless Gaming is going to be picking the first map to play of those 3, whether it be Border, Chalet, or Consulate. And they're going to be choosing, or we're going to have BRK Esports choose the starting side for the first map. When it gets onto the second map, BRK is going to choose that map of the remaining 2, and Merciless will then be choosing the starting side. So when it comes to that, that's some of the stuff that we tend to see happen a lot of with the teams. Not only is the gameplay and strategy important, but so is the ban phase. Some of these series that we've seen in the previously played Pro League seasons have come down to the banning. Some teams are much more efficient, much more prepared on maps than other teams or some of their opponents, and therefore winning the ban phase is a term that you'll constantly hear us talk about on did Merciless, did BRK, did another team win the ban phase, and it all comes down to are the bans and are the maps that are going to be played in favor of the team. So this is something that the teams are currently, we're figuring out now. We've got our bans done, and looking at the remaining maps, to me, not knowing an overabundance about the team, I'm not entirely sure if we can say decisively that the ban phase has gone in favor of one team or the other. However, Merciless is going to be choosing their map here in a moment. But talking about the 3 remaining maps, Chalet is another one of those maps that has seen a lot of development, but only on 2 of the 4 bomb sites on that map. Typically, we'll see the basement, wine cellar, and garage, the snowmobile garage chosen, as well as the kitchen and trophy room. Those 2 bomb sites are the 2 preferred bomb sites. We very rarely see someone go up or see a team go up to the top floor or into the bar and gaming room. Now, Merciless Gaming coming previously from the Xbox League and then making their way through the Challenger League might have some development or might have some hidden cards up their sleeve, some hidden pocket strats for one of the maps or one of the bomb sites that we don't necessarily know. And I'm sure that BRK is going to have to adjust accordingly to those. Now, one of the things to talk about with the bottom bomb site, there's been some new development on that with regards to using Mira and with regards to opening up some of the various walls and placing down some of the barbed wires and hallways. But we are going to see Consulate being that first choice here from Merciless. Merciless going to be choosing there, and we are going to see the starting side not determined just yet. But with Consulate being the first map, to me, that is a very wise choice, being as how it is a very diverse map, a map that can be very much controlled by the defending squad, depending on the strategy and how they plan to hold it. You can play passively, aggressively, or some combination of the 2. And typically, when we talk about the Latin American teams, we talk about them in a sense of them being overly aggressive or very aggressive. And I expect for us to see some of that, but I expect it to be controlled in a fashion that we haven't seen before. I know many of us here at home and here and the studio here at Katowice, we were surprised in a very pleasant way about how well the Brazilian teams and the Latin American teams have done during the LAN event. We got to see we got to see Black Dragons during Season 1, as well as V3 Masters show us some strategy, show us some stuff that was unexpected. We got to see them be much more communicative than we were expecting. We saw them restrain themselves from going after opportunities that might have otherwise not gone in their favor. We saw that risk-reward going into their mindset and saying, okay, is it risky enough? Is it going to be rewarding enough? And what is the risk in taking that? We saw that happen a lot, and it worked out very well for the teams, as both of the Latin American teams made it to LAN, made it to the semifinals, and ultimately Black Dragons made it to the championship, just barely falling short to Penta. Now, with that game here, there's a lot that we could talk about, but I do want to touch base on that LAN event and with Black Dragons going up against Penta. Now, unfortunately, we saw Penta come out on top. Not unfortunately, we saw Penta come out on top. I believe the game ended in a 10-3 fashion. Black Dragons made a huge showing in their quarterfinals and semifinal matches, but one of the things Penta did, which we might see Merciless Gaming do today, is figure out a way to shut down Nesk. We talked about Nesk being their impact player, being their star player, that the team basically formulate strategies for. They formulate themselves around Nesk, making sure that he's going to be able to become the most effective on their team. And with that, we do notice that Penta was able to successfully cut him off. They found out where he was, they found out what operator he was playing, and they stopped him dead in his tracks for most of the rounds, and that's what ended up leading to the ultimate defeat that allowed Penta to go on and take the championship during Season 1. Now, as we talked about before with Merciless, their roster included Milty, Boar, PX, RCK, and Novs. Or I'm sorry, Noives. I'm going to say Novies. Novies was one of the players on their team on the roster. With that roster, they seem to have players that are capable of doing just that Penta has. That Penta has shown is a viable tactic against BRK, and that is identifying where they're pushing from, forcing them into a bottleneck, and making sure that they aren't able to get their strategy executed as well as they'd like to. Now, what we do want to talk about here, though, for a few moments, is going to be about just the let's see. We'll talk about the maps in general. So we talked about console a little bit. We talked about Chalet. Border's going to be the third map, the potential third map. It could be second. We'll still have to get back to the map choices here. But with Border being that map, it is one of the maps that is, we'll say, newly picked up here in the Pro League. It came out last summer in Pro League Season 2, and it was played very few and far in between during Season 2. I think we might have seen it once. Season 3 last fall is when it started coming out and being more prevalent. It got picked up a lot by Continuum in the North American scene. And then during the 6 Invitational in Season 1, we got to see a lot of it. Strategy seemed to be developing on it quicker than any other map, and we constantly see new ways to hold the sites, new bomb sites being used, and new operators being chosen to successfully get those sites in the hands of the defenders. Now, looking here at the attacking side for Border, there's 3 different spawns. Many players will spawn either in the West Valley, or the Valley spawn, or the West Corridor spawn, which is outside of, obviously, of the site. But one of the things that a lot of players tend to do is spawn in that valley, get up onto the south balcony of the site, and get on into that monitors room of Border. Border is, again, one of those maps that plays very similarly sometimes to, similar to, like, we'll say, Canal, in the sense that if your bomb site is on the bottom, you want to take control of that top floor. You want to make sure that you've gained control. You've asserted your dominance over the locker rooms or the office, whatever room it may be, the monitors room, wherever the bomb site might be below, because you need to open up the floor and start taking away some of the angles from the attack or from the defenders below. Again, that's one of the things that many teams, many players have come to realize is one of the premier opportunities to take advantage of a site is playing vertically. We've started to see a lot more development with that, especially on the maps that we'll see here today, such as Consulate and Border, as well as Chalet. Chalet, I remember one of the things that spoke out, or that jumped out to me a couple seasons ago during Season 3, I think it was a C4 placement of actually being in the master bedroom. You opened up the floor right above the window to the master bedroom, reaching down into kitchen. I believe there was a member from, I think it was Vertical Gaming, actually threw out one of a C4. I think it was Slash, to be honest. I think he threw a C4 through the kitchen, up through the floor, out the window onto the balcony of master bedroom, killing their opponent. And that was one of the things that you constantly see. Little things like that are little development tactics we constantly see, little tweaks here and there, little new angles and holes and ways to get their kills, cheeky spots, one might say. And with that, there is a lot of speculation as to how tonight's going to unfold. What things we might see, what things we aren't going to see. Are we going to have the Glaz and Monty picks that we've previously seen in Season 1? Now, in the North American scene, we barely saw Glaz at all. And then in the European scene, we did see it. But we are going to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. The map is ready to go. First map of the day is going to be on Consulate. So we are going to be here with BRK taking it on the attack side, as we have Merciless Gaming starting on the defensive side. We are going to see that Blackbeard, Twitch, Hibana, Ash, and Thermite come out on round number 1 here for the attackers, as Valkyrie, Mira, Jaeger, Mute, and Smoke are making their appearance here on defense. We are going to see the beginning bomb site be chosen downstairs in the basement. And again, one of the things that was typically expected, especially with the addition of Mira, is going to be the reinforcement we see Boar selecting. He's going to be reinforcing the middle wall of that bottom office, placing a mirror wall or mirror window on it so he can face left or right and try to get anyone that enters into the garage from a safe distance. Again, these drop hatches are going to be getting reinforced, the obvious drop hatches, the ones above A and B site, as well as the garage walls, obviously. But here what we're seeing is actually going to be a little bit of a different tactic from the attackers. We aren't going to see a Thatcher. We're going to see Twitch get brought out instead. And that Twitch is going to be used to open up those mirror windows, but as well as possibly get rid of the mute jammers, because there is no bandit. So the batteries are not going to prove useful at all. We are going to see the mute come out, though, and that mute is most likely going to be to help prevent the Twitch drone from getting inside. As we kick it on off here, we are going to see a 3-2 split with 2 roamers above, possibly in the top floor, as three defenders are going to be downstairs in the basement. Keeping an eye here on Julio. He's going to be the Habano droning out from admin, and he actually oversees, and we'll actually see the Jaeger there in these soda machines. So with that, we are going to have Nesk, again, keeping an eye on that printer room, making sure that if the Jaeger wants to peek, he might pay a price for it. On the corner office window, we are going to see Twitch trying to hold down and receive a moving Jaeger roaming around inside of that projector room now. Taking a look at him over here with 2 minutes to go. Still, the attacking squad is getting in position, clearing out this roamer. They've spotted out. I don't think they might have spotted out the Jaeger. No, PX is still going to be there. He was just seen right there by the drone. Now we're going to have Nesk come on through. He actually moved on forward over towards the soda machines inside of the main hallway. Hibana is going to be on the window side of projector outside of the balcony. Julio is going to try to go for these shots, but it looks as though one will tag him down. And that's going to be the first kill. Second kill going to be Yuk taking out the kill here from Valkyrie. Valkyrie trying to get picked off here inside of the connector. Now, fortunately here for BRK, they've managed to come up with a very strong beginning, knocking out 2 of the defenders. We're going to have Midi take a little bit of a shock drone and had to force his way back on site, but he's got a couple barricades preventing that from happening, or from him going all the way back here. Decides it's time to open up, rotate back onto site as Yuk is working his way down the Visa stairwell. We do have Boar inside of that kitchen. He's going to be getting droned out here momentarily. Yuk is going to bring that drone forward. Midi still has the bottom circle stairs covered at the moment, as RCK is going to be trying to keep these garage pushes from happening. He's going to be the smoke drone, and above him is it's going to be the drop hatch from bathroom getting opened up. This is Julio doing the work here, as Nesk is using those breaching charges to open up as much of the floor as possible. Flashbangs going down. We might see Julio drop here momentarily. At the moment, we are just going to see Nesk trying to tap the feet there of Mira. That is Boar. However, we will spot Nesk getting the shot there into RCK, as Boar will fall by Yuk. Last minute alive is going to be Midi here inside of that office. And unfortunately, it's not looking good for him as he peeks out of the door. We are going to see one drop him with a single headshot. This is BRK coming out very strong, showing that they should be the first team in Latin America, and they are proving to do that just now in their first flawless round here on Playday number 1 for the Latin American Pro League Year 2 Season 2. Taking a look here at the lineup for the defensive squad of BRK, they are going to decide to go downstairs into the basement, this time opting to bring the bandit instead of that mute. Now, a lot of the times what we're going to see with Bandit, he will either be on the garage wall helping to either place his batteries down or actually bandit swap it, and from there, he will either do that or he'll go to the mirror windows and make sure that he's able to prevent anyone from using those Habana hatches or those Habana pellets onto the mirror. Now, with that, we do just get underway in prep phase here. We are, like I said, going to see the basement floor be where the bomb site is. Nesk, though, playing the Valkyrie, which we have seen some great things from in the past. Nesk has been able to get his Valkyrie cameras in some placements which are not easily identified, and that's why I would expect Merciless to go with the IQ. However, we aren't seeing IQ picked out. Instead, Capital is being brought, and that is strictly to help counter the mirror windows. Again, no Thatcher being called. This is actually going to be the Buck play. Buck's going to get into the piano room as he moves on forward. And we're going to see the mirror windows get opened up if there are any on the garage, which I don't expect there to be, not at this kind of level of play. We are going to see that same mirror placement, though, inside of the office downstairs in the basement. Buck's going to be over here on the admin window. Yuk waiting to go for these shots. Noiv, not quite sure if he's going to be able to get this shot onto Yuk or if he's going to pre-fire or just decide, let's go downstairs into the Visa office. We do have one who's also roaming above. This is a 2-3 split here for the defenders for BRK. Looks like Yuk and one are going to be the two roamers, as Nesk seems to be back on site now. Yuk still here inside of that projector room. Midi, though, waiting for that hop out, waiting for the jump, as he's trying to bait him out. He's now waiting for the call, waiting to say, okay, is he going to pop on out? And instead, he's deciding, let's not risk it too much. One has managed to make his way into the admin office as MG is going to be droning out here. And with PX opening up the front door, he is going to move his way forward, but it looks as though Yuke will take that shot down onto the Buck. That's going to be Noiv going down for the count. Now that was outside of the admin office windows, which Yuke was there, sorry, one was there previously. Now we do see Ness trying to peek on up from the circle stairs. We've seen him there before. He got a lot of shots down there onto Twitch, and that will do wonders. Now she has been injured, not killed off just yet, but PX will be down for the count. Yuke has come out to collapse as well, spots PX down, gets him down for the shot, and as he peeks around into the main hall, he will be taken out, but the trade will come immediately from Ness as they peek on over. The window gets opened up here as Ness turns around, goes for the shot there onto Capital. That is Boar. Now Boar's kind of cautious at the moment. It's a 4-on-2. So are we going to see Boar trying to contest this window more, or is he going to find a different avenue into the site? With Capital and Thermite, that's RCK working their way. We are going to see RCK come on back downstairs. Now the one mirror window that is placed onto that garage barricade, or onto the garage wall, is going to prevent RCK from being able to successfully and easily place that down. However, now that the window has been opened up, RCK might try to go for a peek, but it's not always going to be in his best interest to do so. 30 seconds left on the clock. A 2-on-4 remains. We do have Mira. That's going to be underneath of the yellow stairs, just waiting for the right peek out at the perfect time. He is trying to go for the shots here. Capital, though, has some fire arrows, but decides to not use them. RCK, though, going to take off Zig. That's going to be that Mira as he peeks on around. The bomb is the diffuser is going to drop there on the yellow stairs. We're going to have Ness get the final kill there on to MG, or onto RCK, and therefore we will see round number 2 go in favor of BRK. So with such a strong showing here from BRK, we are seeing this go into round number 3 at the moment. 2-0 is how we're going to see the rounds unfold at the start, with BRK coming out on top. Now you can see the majority of the work being done here is from Nesk, Yuke, and One, but a lot of the support is not to be underestimated here by Zig and Julio. Again, we are seeing BRK start with very similar operator selection choices, this time opting to go with the Blackbeard instead of the Buck that they had previously chosen. They're also picking up the Thermite here, so we are going to see this garage push unfold, and hopefully we'll have to see this work out a little bit smoother here for MG. Previously, they were caught off guard on that bomb site and were chosen, and we actually went on into a flawless defeat, unfortunately. So with that, we are going to see here MG working their way, reinforcing what they need to get this strategy working. What we are going to see, though, is probably another 2-3 or 3-2 split here, with at least the Valkyrie going up top. That's going to be Novi's, as well as the Doc being brought out. That is Boar. He's going to be on first floor. So we are actually going to see a 3-2 split with Novi and PX, the two roamers above. Novi appears to be working his way back down here. He's going to be, I think that is the Visa stairs is where he's situating himself. Novi's looking like he might have tossed that a little too far, that Valcam, as it's not getting the best line of sight or best information he was expecting it to. Now with these corner office windows taken, we are going to see Nest try to go for the push here, as he is coming onto the yellow stairs window. He's got coverage from the bottom doorway, which allows him to take that shock drone and move his way to try to clear out the corner office. Boar, however, is opening up the barricades to take a look over there towards the bottom of Visa stairs, working his way up circle, where we are going to have RC, or we're going to have Midi. Now Midi will get peeked out here, droned out by Nesk. He's going to go for the pre-fire here momentarily as Midi goes for another peek. However, Nesk does not get the upper hand, and Midi comes out on top of that fight with the headshot coming around from the hallway. Wonderful shot there. Now the barbed wire was heard of being hit by Thermite. That's going to be the Thermite player outside. That's Zig at the moment. He's trying to get rid of some of that barbed wire, cause some attention, allow Midi to feel comfortable, make going for a peek easier. However, he is baiting him out, going for the shots. One, he's going to be droning out that corner office and top floor lobby, calling it pretty clear here for Uke. Uke's finishing droning out as well. This is something we typically have not expected from the Latin American scene, is as much droning as we have. However, this is now what is starting to become the norm in the Latin American scene, is this teamwork, this cooperation, the droning, the communication that we constantly see here. And it's something that is going to make the Latin American scene a very tough force to be reckoned with. Julio has opened up the drop patch, and now he's moving on outside to party out with the Ash, and with Uke. Zig, however, has decided it's now time to get this opened up, get the wall opened up, as there is no more mute jammers. He's going to stay close on the wall, though, able to open up the wall should he need to open up the garage door. Uke trying to open up more of the floor right above the site, making sure that the angles are taken away. Now it's a 4-on-5 at the moment. 40 seconds left. I see Uke is just trying to remove as much of the floor as possible from this white van. Now, if I saw correctly, Boar is still down there by the white van. Now, there's only one. There's one roamer, 3 roamers above. That's going to be Nove, PX, and Midi. We do have the first kill going down onto Boar from BRK. That's going to be their Doc taken out. PX also is annihilated here. However, Novi's gets a kill there by himself. That's the Valkyrie getting a kill. However, now we've got a 2-on-2. 10 seconds left to go. We're going to have Thermite, that is Zig, get this diffuser planted. Zig, or Julio is going to drop on down through. Gets the shot by Valkyrie. That's one more kill to go. Mini's still trying to come around from the yellow stairs. He's going to tag him. We're going to see the attackers get the win here, or the defenders get the win, as the diffuser did not get planted in time. No, it did get planted in time. We actually see the defenders, or the attackers getting the win. My apologies here. He got the diffuser planted in time, turned up, peeked on up to the yellow stairs, and got the kill down. It is now 3-0 with BRK coming out on top. Now the castle play is something that is first making their appearance here tonight. After 3 rounds going into 4th round, we are going to see BRK select that castle. That's going to be Uke. The castle pulse combination is something we've seen a few times here and there. Castle kind of made its debut in season 3, 6 Invitational season 1 here for Consulate. And it's been one of those operators that hasn't necessarily had too much of a change. He's gotten impact grenades, but that's about it. And with regards to how much of a change the actual operator's ability has gotten, I don't think his castle walls have really been touched. And therefore, seeing this castle being utilized in such a fashion, seeing that he's still viable, still useful without much balancing needed to him, seems to be something that a lot of teams are starting to pick up. We are going to see that middle barricade by the admin office be placed down. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Uke stay in there for the time being, or the Echo around there as well. Now Ness is going to toss out his last Valkyrie camera inside of the fan in that main lobby, that main corridor, top floor. Taking another look here, we are going to see a pretty secluded defensive site. We're going to see 4 defenders top floor, as well as the 1 roaming defender. That's going to be Pulse. And that's expected because Pulse is going to be able to use that heartbeat sensor and throw up the C4 from underneath should the attackers get on site. Now Uke is being spotted out here by Boar. He's actually going to spot him. It's a little bit weird. You typically don't see identification like that much in the Pro League unless you're going to be following that up with a wall bang or door bang. And unfortunately, neither of those were the case. So with that, the drone will merely just get destroyed, give his position away, and force him to relocate. Midi, however, has gotten himself all the way up to the top floor. He's working his way over here towards the printer windows as MG, as Boar, is getting on as well to these side printer windows. The walls are going to get opened up here. You're going to see Boar trying to take his drone over. He's trying to lead the way here for Novi. He's going to fire a couple shots into the punch hole walls, which is right by Echo's head. Fortunately for Echo, he will keep that head for now. And we see the rappel going in by Novi's, and we have Castle. That's Uke trying to get some shots off. The Yokai, though, is going to disorient Novi's and give a couple shots here for Uke to try to land them. Now the fire arrows are going to come here. Uke has got to evade and get on out of there. He's going to move on towards the yellow stairs, or the Visa stairs, and fortunately will run away with about 20 health left on his body. A 5-on-5 still going to ensue with 1:15 to go. Boar is now going to use that last fire arrow, and he's got 1 smoke arrow left to try to get his way in here. He's going to take a look over. I don't quite think he saw He did see his own opponent, that was Sledge, inside of that middle bathroom. Now close on the wall is going to be Echo. It's actually, he needs to look on up because right there's going to be Sledge. He goes for the shotgun kill, but he misses. And that's going to be the L85 from Novi coming on out to get 1 kill. He's going to grab a 2nd kill to just take down 2 of the defenders. He will be traded off though by Julio, and then Borg swings back around to take out Zig for the count. Now a 4-on-2 is going to ensue with 40 seconds left to go. Gas grenades from Julio are going to try to stop the push from the Visa stairs. He's throwing another one out through the holes in the wall out towards the main corridor. Ness coming up behind there. He's going to tap the head there of PX, dropping him down for the count. Now a 2-on-3 with 30 seconds to go. Midi trying to swing around, trying to take down Julio. The shots will go, but there's not too much left of that SMG-11, so we are going to see the shotgun come out, and Midi will fall. Ness can get a C4 kill. Last man alive is going to be RCK. With 15 seconds to go, this plant will most likely go down, but not in the fashion it needs to. It will, and there we're going to have it. Blackbeard will fall. The shot will go down. However, there is 40 seconds for the defenders to destroy this diffuser, and we will have BRK go up 4-0.
Defensores desabilitaram o desativador de bombas. Falha ao desativar bomba. Vitória dos defensores.
And with that, we are here on match point for BRK Esports, successfully showing that they do know exactly what it takes to win this map over their opponents. They seem to be outsmarting them and outplaying them, just downright taking advantage of every opportunity, making very few mistakes themselves. And that is what is allowing them to have such an overwhelming presence here on Consulate. As we just saw on the scoreboard there, nearly every player is holding their own weight. We have everyone across the board with either 3, 4, or 5 kills in a very consistent fashion, which to me means that a team has a very cohesive nature. They're now able to identify and help everyone on their team strive for the best and make them the most effective as possible. Now Bombsite is going to go back downstairs here for Merciless Gaming. There's still one wall needing reinforced on the garage. Looks like Boar is going to go ahead and tag that up, as we do have the Bandit coming out along with the Mute. This time no Mira. So with the no Mira strat, I believe what we're going to be seeing here is a Bandit rotation on the garage, making sure it doesn't get opened up as easily. But when you have players such as Sledge, such as Ash, you are not easily going to be able to defend that garage barrier, or that garage wall, with Piano being right above it and destructible. Looks as though Zig is going to work his way in here. He's going to spot the head of Valkyrie, but not get the shots down in time, as Novi's is going to come swinging out with the bat and just take out the count there for Sledge. That unfortunately is going to be one of the most destructible operators that they have on their team, down for the count very early on in the round. Now Julio is going to take a little bit more time to use his Twitch drone to see what he can take advantage of. We do see Nesk moving on forward, working very quickly down the blue corridor here at the bottom of the Visa. However, he does need to be cautious, because on the stairs, I believe, on Visa's stairs, might have been Glaz or it might have been the opponent. I think that might have been Smoke. That's RCK. Now looking up on Circle stairs, Midi is here. I don't quite know if he knows that Nesk is underneath, but he will give away his position now. So Midi will start working his way down to take a look. Yuke playing the Glaz. He is down at the bottom of Visa's stairs. So is One. He's now taking a look for Midi to rotate back down. They know he's here. Midi will get droned out, and now he's going to have to go upstairs and try to find a different way around. One being very risky, being in the middle of the hall, droning it out. He's going to spot the shots there, spot the opponent. That's going to be Mute. Midi's got to relocate himself. Novi's, however, is right now standing very still. Almost has a little pixel angle down below him. He's waiting to take a couple shots onto. He's waiting for this hall at the moment. Right underneath, it's going to be Glaz. He misses the target, though, and gives away his position. So with that, he's got to relocate himself, but we're going to have Nesk playing the Ash. Now he's going to move on over. He gets half his health taken away as he takes RCK down for the count. That is Smoke with 60 seconds left to go and no smoke grenades utilized. That's a lot of utility that just got removed from the board. Now Novi's will move on forward. He's going to take out Glaz. That's also Diffuser that's fallen. We are going to have a Mini, I believe, or Boar take down a kill there onto one of the defenders. Last man alive is going to be Julio, as Boar has just taken down Nesk. Twitch is last man alive. He's here inside of the Visa office against 4 defenders. We could see Merciless secure their first round here on Consulate, but it's not over until the round is actually over and done for, and we see that kill cam. Julio, though, still has plenty of time to try to get something working. Diffuser is going to be at the bottom of the stairs there, as that is where Glass had fallen earlier. So with that, we are going to see him move forward. He does have some barbed wire to go through, unfortunately, which is going to give away his position as well, slowing down. PX is going to be there, goes for the shots, and he gets the drop shot down onto him. Jaeger's 416 comes out on top, and we're going to have MG finally securing one round here. It's now 4-1 in map number 1 here between BRK Esports and Merciless Gaming. Now taking a look here at BRK, they are going to be going back downstairs to the basement where they first successfully held off their defensive site in a very decisive fashion. Now it did turn out to be a 5-on-2, I believe, and the attackers at the time were Merciless. They got 2 of the defenders killed off, but ultimately it just wasn't enough time, wasn't enough resources to finish off the rest of BRK. And with that being said, it seemed as though Merciless took a little bit too much time trying to do their strategy, try to pull it off and execute their own strategy. Julio's who we're going to be watching right now, getting those drop hatches, those most oftentimes necessary drop hatches to reinforce, being as how they are right above the bomb sites. Now typically what we'll see when we see a Hibana and Thermite brought together, Thermite will go for the garage opening as Hibana works her way into the main lobby and bathroom to open up the drop hatches, which we just saw get reinforced here by smoke. Ness is going to toss out one last grenade or one last camera here onto the tree right outside the south end of the map. Fortunately for him, he won't get detected at all. It's a nice easy toss, one that's pre-planned, predetermined, and going to give some information to his squad. Ness now working forward again. We're going to see this mirror window on the office wall. And again, that is to help stop any kind of rotation from Yellow Stairs. However, we do have an early on kill here by Boar to take out Yook. That's going to be the bandit down early here. And unfortunately, that's going to be the last thing stopping the attackers from opening up that garage wall. So with that, one's going to have to relocate himself. He's moving on over here into the middle projector room. And then back to the soda machines. It seems almost a little decisive as to where to go. A little bit undecided, I'll say. He's looking through the drop hatch here. He's deciding to drop inside of Visa. Looks on over. Taking a look down the corridor. It won't spot anyone just yet. Still plenty of time to unfold in this game as we do have 2/3 of the round left. We're going to witness 4 men on site. The remaining 4 defenders are all going to be on site except for Nesk. Ness is going to be here as well as Jaeger. He's in Visa, so they are working their way, constantly rotating themselves around. Jaeger's going to be the last one off site. Again, we saw him in Visa just a little bit ago. Julio, though, going to be here inside of that garage, looking on up at the drop hatch that got opened up by Mitty. Floor starting to get opened up here a little bit. Now Novi might be trying to look on down through the floor, looking here for Zig. If he overexposes himself a little bit too much, we could see Zig pop a cap open and actually get this shot down. He is wary of someone trying to open up the floor right above him, as he is in an exposed spot should that happen. Now, fortunately for BRK, the wall to garage has merely, the mirror window has been opened up, but not enough for them to actually push through and progress through the garage just yet. It is going to be something they're working towards now. I foresee a Capitao arrow going in a moment to try to stop any kind of rotation. We do have Thermite trying to open up the wall here. That's going to force Zig to back on up through the white van. Could go for a little bit of a peek here as Boar is looking very close on the wall. And we're going to see RZK try to drone out the bottom of the van for a little bit, go into kitchen, spot out even more. Now Mitty is going to tag 1 kill over here as Zig will fall to Boar. A 5-on-2 now. This is not going in the hands of BRK. We are going to see Merciless Gaming try to come on back here as long as the diffuser can get planted in the next 20 seconds. Nesk is working his way, looking at the back corridor as PX is about to strafe around. Window gets opened up. Boar's going to tag that kill into Julio. Last minute alive is going to be Nesk, and he will fall to PX coming around from the back corridor there, and that will be the end of round number 6. It's now 4-2, and we are starting to see Merciless Gaming fold this back into their favor. Taking a look over here at Merciless Gaming, going up to the top floor of the bomb sites. We are going to spot that Valkyrie Echo Jaeger Pulse coming out. And the Echo is something that proved to be very useful. Previously, the way they set this up was actually inside of the admin office. You had Mute, or Smoke I think it was, might have been RCK, stationed right inside of the bathroom there, right inside of that little break room, facing the admin office. You had Boar, who was going to be the Echo. He used that yokai device, that yokai drone, to see what window they were rappelling into and where they were going to be for the wall bangs that RCK wanted to engage in.
10 segundos para inserção. 5 segundos para inserção.
Now with Novi's being the Valkyrie, he has one more camera to throw out, and I believe he's going to try to toss it out the north end of the map or throw it into the Visa office. Looks like he will be tossing it out north here, just looking for a little bit of a spawn peek out the window, which fortunately for BRK, we will not see anyone coming around that window to meet their fate. We do see Zig, though. He's working his way here from the east parking lot. Now, this is something like we had expected before, trying to push in from admin. This is one of the typical takes here from many players in the Pro League, many teams, is dominating control, getting control of admin, working their way through, and ultimately just forcing out the attacker, or forcing out the defenders from their locations. Now we do see Novi's here. He's looking to see, is there going to be a Claymore? He knows there's a Claymore here. It's already been opened up. He's not seeing it. He's not seeing the Claymore, so he's going to take a vault out here momentarily. He did, I think, spark the attention of Thatcher, though. Julio trying to be very cautious. As he comes around here, we could see a shot from Novi. Novi's still looking here. He's actually getting droned out, and Julio going to go for the pre-fire shot and just barely escapes with his life as he does get droned out. So Novi now trying to relocate himself. Looks like he might go into the arms of Mitty here, downstairs in the basement. Those are 2 of the 3 roamers, as we also have PX, who's no longer on the top site. Looks as though RCK might have gotten into a little bit of a skirmish here as Nesk is repelled onto the admin balcony or admin windows. He's going to get on inside without too much trouble. RCK, though, going to take that shotgun to Uke and drop him as he gets on into the printer office. With that, we will also be getting underway with about a minute and 15 seconds left to go, and a 5-on-4. Now, as Ness turns the corner, he's going to see no one. He's going to turn to his right, looks for the shots there, and it will finish off RCK. That Smoke also going down without the use of his gas grenades. This push could be very effective here for BRC, or BRK. One slowly progressing forward onto site. He's here on the east end inside of the reception area. However, it does look like we are going to see Thatcher come out on top of that L85, taking out Novi. However, PX trying to be very aggressive. He goes out, gets 1 kill on the Nesk, but then is instantly traded back by Blackbeard. Mitty trying to do work underneath. He's waiting for the plant to go down, waiting for this yokai drone to call it on out. We will hopefully see Boar get the C4 kill from underneath. Now the diffuser is going to be in the hands of Zig. He's going to move on over here to the diffuser. Are we going to see the Pulse C4 from underneath? We are going to see Julio drop it. It looks as though the shots from underneath will not happen. The C4 doesn't do its damage, and we will have that L85 again from Thatcher doing its work. Now the wall bang to the right side of the door will take off the head of Boar. That is directly coming from 1. A wonderful shot. That is going to be map number 1 going into the hands of BRK. BRK, again, formerly known as Black Dragons, changed up organizations for Season 2, but a decisive win nonetheless here from BRK Esports. Nesk again coming out on top with 7 kills, top score. Not too many assists, but again, when you are the top fragger for your team, you typically get more kills than assists, and the rest of their team will be there to assist him. Now, fortunately, as we saw there, that was the map number 1. Map number 2 is going to get underway here momentarily, but with the map that we just saw on Consulate, to me what we saw some top floor and we saw some bottom floor holds. We didn't see anything on the middle floor. We did see some skirmishes. We saw some little holds and some pushback from the defenders, but nothing that leaned towards we want to take home the site on the middle floor, inside of the tellers, or inside of the reception desk and piano room. That bottom floor bomb site, though, seemed to be what was favored by most of the teams here, both especially being BRK, doing so well. Now, the one thing that we did see not go out so well was kind of the slowness for Merciless Gaming. They seem to be taking their time and ultimately taking too long to make decisions. There were often enough times where they should have just been going for the kill or collapsing on the roamer or wherever it may have been, but ultimately they tried to hold a safer angle, a softer angle, and it was not necessarily as effective as it could have been. We're going to take a look here at our next map momentarily. Let's figure out who it is and what it is. For those of you that are just joining us today, this is the Playday #1 of Year 2 Season 2 for the Latin American scene. Let's take a look over here at highlights, though, between Merciless Gaming and BRK Esports here on Consulate. Now, again, this is going to be round number 3. BRK came out of the box swinging with 4 rounds in their favor to start it off, and then ultimately we had Merciless come back in for the next 2 rounds. So with this, we do have some of the final rounds happening here. That's going to be the shotgun. Now, with that, those are some of the highlights we saw. Taking a look, though, at some of the changes that actually happened at Consulate, one of the things that we saw, and it actually might have played a different role, was inside of that blue corridor. Downstairs in the basement between server and kitchen. The blue corridor there, that long, narrow corridor where we saw Glaz holding onto the diffuser. Now, earlier on, we talked about, I think it was Thursday or Monday, we talked about how inside of that little cubby underneath of the stairs, we had some boxes get placed there in the most recent patch, 2.2.1. And with that happening, basically that took away the defender's ability to try to peek out from a drone hole that led to the front of the map on the south end towards the front lobby. Now, typically, that was news to me. It was something I had not seen, so it kind of confused me when I saw the boxes. But again, that's something that we just saw there in the highlight previews. So we'll have to see if that drastically changes anyone's team strategy. I don't feel like it will. It's kind of a minute little thing that might get you a cheeky kill. But we are going to move underway to our second map of the day. This is going to be on Border, I think it is. This is going to be on Border. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, map number 2. Map 1 went in favor of BRK. We are here on Border now. This is map number 2 in this best of 3. We're going to see BRK start out on the attack squad, as Merciless is again going to be starting out on the defense. Bomb site is going to be chosen to go with that top floor again. Probably the most favored bomb site here on Border. One of the questions that constantly is asked is, from a team's perspective, is do we hold on to office very intently, utilizing a lot of resources? We see that happening now with all 3 barricades going onto that east wall. However, this mirror window is a little bit different than what we've seen before. We've seen, I think, once or twice in the past. We see a lot of utility and a lot of resources and manpower being held down inside of the monitors room. Yuke is working his way. This is that valley spawn we had talked about. They are going to progress in towards the monitors. Zig deciding to open up the door first and then get a little bit closer. Now, the point of bringing that Hibana and Thermite together again is mainly to cover the team's array of defenses that they might be going up against. So having both of the utilities of Hibana and Thermite will allow them to do just that. Nesk, however, is going to take this drone into the site right underneath of the lockers. He's going to try to open this up, pull out his breaching charge in a moment to try to open up the floor. Now, there was a team kill that just happened. Boar will fall to PX, and unfortunately, that is a kill that might cost them the round. That was Smoke. Smoke does play such a vital role. Now, PX will be hit from the breaching charge underneath. Again, that's Nesk doing the work from below. He is going to look to open up this mirror window. That's going to get opened up there and allow him to back on out. And now he's just taking away that extra reinforcement from RCK. With a minute 20 to go, a little bit of a wall bang's going to happen. Yuke gets the information from his team to just say, hey, he's in the hallway, just shoot. And he does get the spectacular headshot down on the Novies, taking him down for the count. Now a 3-on-5 I don't think he's got the head shield on at the moment. I think he's just trying to go for the 2-2 speed. He is here waiting for Midi to rush on out, go for a peek. Flashbang is going to go. That's going to blind Midi, and we are going to see Ash try to rush on in. Nest coming around from the side. He will pick off that kill as RCK will finish off these shots there. We also got Nesk trying to finish off even more as he takes down yet again another kill inside of Fountain. Last minute alive is going to be PX. He's now been flashbanged. Nesk going to try to rush on in. He's going to look towards the back, goes for the kill. He knows he's back there, but it looks as though we are going to have Julio go for that final kill to PX, and round number 1 goes into BRK's favor just like that. A very strong and overwhelming power force, especially when they know where the last defender is, where the last 2 are. They do show that pocket aggression, which we talked about earlier. Now taking a look here at BRK Esports, they are going to be the ones going on defense now and choosing again to go back upstairs to the same spot we saw Merciless try to hold. Some of the same operators we're going to see making an appearance here. Again, that Mira, the Jaeger, the Smoke, the Valkyrie. The Pulse might be the one change to their list which wasn't chosen before. Now BRK is going to, Nesk is going to be here throwing out one Valkyrie. What he likely is going to do is hop on outside, look on up, throw a Valk cam above him. We've seen that happen before. Up in that corner, beautiful Valk cam placement. He's not even detected. So with that, he has done this before to see if he can hop out and make a peek. Instead, he's just waiting for that right information. Now he will not be seen by Glaz just yet. He does know that most likely someone's going to be coming around. So with that, he has decided to go stay inside of the archives for the moment. Now there's going to be the kill there from Pulse. That looks like it's going to be Zig taking down a kill there onto onto Midi. So Midi will fall. Looks like a defender has been detected outside as Boar and Novies are both holding crossfires onto this east hallway. Now this top 4 hold here from BRK is one that is unique but similar in the same fashion. We've seen some teams do this before where you're going to be putting someone on the side wall, the little half wall there inside an office. That looks like it's going to be the Pulse this time. And you have another defender inside a Fountain looking on back. Now we do have Novi getting decapitated and taken out of the count here for the first round, or for the first defensive round here for BRK. Looks as though Yuke tries to peek on out of one of the holes that was previously made, but Boar is there to take him out. A wonderful shot there, trying to even out man count, taking out Smoke. One still going to be on cams inside of Fountain. He's looking to try to get some more information and ultimately get the kill. But to his left, 2 PX's left is going to be this Pulse. So he is waiting. He's going to try to open up the C4. Rush on now, goes for the kill there. He cannot get it. He's going to tag Glaz, but not do enough damage to get him finished off. And we are going to see this go down to a 3-on-3. Wonderful job there by RCK, expecting the unexpected and getting the shots. Now PX is going to try to get some shots down here onto 1. Tagged him quite a bit. He's down to about 1 shot left from the Glaz. If he can get the shot down. It looks like he will not just, oh, he does get the shots there. Goes for another one, and it's going to be a tremendous killer from PX, getting both. No, sorry, Boar, the Thatcher, trying to help out and collapse on the defenders as well. Last minute is going to be Nesk. Now all Valkyrie cameras have been utilized. It's a 3-on-1. However, PX is drastically hurt, so he could get this clutch if he needs to. We are just going to see Nesk holding a soft angle at the moment, waiting for Merciless to try to make their own peek, make their own engagement onto the site. And this is where Nesk's Valkyrie cameras are going to come in vital importance, or they're going to be of importance here. Flashbang going to come out, and are they going to try to rush him here? Unfortunately, he is blind, but they don't necessarily know where he's at. With that, Nesk is going to come here. C4 is going to get tossed on out. It's going to grab the Thermite. All he has to do is look hard right, and he might see Boar, but it's not going to happen as PX is there for the kill and taking him down. A nice job there by Merciless. They're now starting to come on back. It's 1-on-1 at the moment, or 1-2-1. Now, with the defenses for top 4 being unable to successfully complete, we are most likely going to see Merciless head back upstairs. That's what they have decided to do. Boar's working on over here, opening up some of the wall, which allows him to either get an angle onto the doorway, which we've seen before, the south doorway out by Valley, or he's going to use it to stay inside and possibly peek out to the hallway. Merciless Gaming, again, using a lot of resources here on that office wall facing the east of the map. This is something that some teams have decided is of vital importance, as others realize that we can keep this soft, we can just reinforce Fountain and the single wall to help make this the best possible for their team. Now CEST moving on forward here. Again, the Glass typically starts out on the East Valley spawn, looking in towards the East balcony, in towards B site, where he looks to hopefully get a rotation around, but ultimately we do have the members of Merciless pretty well stationary at the moment in their rightful spots. Now it looks as though one may have done his job there by getting rid of the Valkyrie or the mirror window there. We'll have to stay tuned to see if that's actually what happened or if it might just be some wrong vision. We'll see. But Novi's, he is stationed inside of the monitors building, along here with Boar. So they're going to be trying to hold down the fort together, making sure that they don't get flanked from each other. It allows them to work together cohesively. Again, this seems to be a lot more droning, a lot more information gathering than we are used to seeing from the Latin American scene. The C4, though, from RCK is going to go out and just finish off Nesk. Again, tremendous kill taking out Nesk early on. Looks as though there's going to be Valkyrie trying to engage in a fight with Julio here. He will not come out on top of that, so he's going to back on out for the time being. With still over half the round to go, we do have PX, who I believe has been injured or at least drastically hurt. Not quite sure where that skirmish encounter happened, but Zig is going to be out here on the south balcony looking forward. Novi's going to be inside of the break room. This is a good spot. If they force MG, or I'm sorry, if MG forces BRK to move quickly through monitors, they could overlook this corner by Novi's. The gas grenade from Boar is going to come on out. Now he has tucked himself inside of the monitors room. No room to rotate on over just yet. That is a possibility, though. We are just waiting on Boar to pop on out at the perfect time, waiting for Yug to move. Looks as though we will have Boar getting droned out. Now Yug is just waiting for that opportunity. We are going to see another kill here as Novi will take down one, but Nesk, I'm sorry, not Nesk, that's Twitch grabbing down 2 kills. Bandit and Smoke taking down 2 more kills here on the attackers. The final attacker will fall as Boar swings around that SMG-11 to just finish off Thermite. We are going to head into round number 4 now. It's 2-1 with the Latin American previous season champions winning. It's going to be BRK successfully winning round number 3.
Atacantes precisam localizar e desativar as bombas.
So Merciless is now up 2-1 here on Border.
Restam 10
So here we have it, still top floor bomb site, as no team has successfully defended this site just yet, except for Merciless on their previous hold. We still are going to have to see if BRK can do just that on their own terms, as we do see Uke playing inside of that middle monitors room with the mirror window at his side. Opening up more of the rotation parameters here, open up the wall towards that west balcony. We are seeing MG work together, trying to collapse on the site together. We are going to see Valkyrie, sorry, that's not Valkyrie, that is Glaz on the east balcony, as well as Midi working their way in. Moving on forward, PX has decided to move underneath of Tellers, or right in Tellers, looking on up towards that office, opening up as much as possible, as that is where we seem to have a lot of members from BRK. What they're going to have to do, though, is to find some way to deal with that Mira. And with over 2/3 of the round left to go, we have yet to see too much of a skirmish, just merely opening up holes, holding down angles, looking for others to peek them, which again is not necessarily something that you see too much of in the Pro League. Now MG is working his way over here. Both MG members are here on the east stairwell working their way. RCK though takes down the shot onto Zig. That's going to be Pulse falling out for the count, which is actually a very good kill. Being able to take out that Pulse when he could play a vital role with a C4 underneath of these destructible floors is not something you want to have to deal with. Now 60 seconds left to unfold. We are going to see the C4 kill from Nesk take out PX, as Novi's will finish off one. With a man count trade, it's a 4-on-3 at the moment. Next still a little bit close here. He's going to be hard right on the doorway into Archives. Sees that the wall has been opened up successfully, and Nesk is going to be brave. He's going to stay here as he was caught off guard. Looking here, we actually have Nesk, who's gotten his way over into the office. He's going to tag that kill into Bill, but he will then be traded down by Novi. Novi going to pick up a second kill here as Ash with that R4C. Last man alive is going to be Smoke, as Smoke is underneath. And coming on up those east stairs, we are going to see Midi successfully take that kill down onto Uke. And therefore, we will have MG go up 3-1 now on Border. Taking a look at the scoreboard, Nesk still leading his team, but unfortunately, as much support as the rest of BRK gives Nesk, they are not seemingly carrying their own weight in the process, and that is allowing Merciless to try to come out on top on this map. Again, the first map that was chosen was Consulate, and that was actually Merciless's map, and BRK chose this map on Border. So it's very surprising that BRK is not able to do as much of an impact, or have as much of an impact as we have seen Merciless on this map. Bomb site's going to be downstairs now inside of that ventilation unit and workshop, or servers, as is typically the second most preferred bomb site. Bor's going to utilize those castle barricades to make sure that they cannot rush in through middle or through admin. I'm sorry, through offices. Now what we're seeing here from Merciless is actually a large usage of resources and material to try to hold top floor. And this is what we had talked about before with Canal or with Chalet. Think of it more like Chalet, where if the bomb site is inside of Trophy and Kitchen, you need to gain control of that top floor. You need to gain control of Fireplace and then just light it down and see, okay, this is how we need to take control of the site. We need to clear out all the angles from the defenders here, and we'll see how that unfolds here as we are getting underway in the prep phase. have a multitude of defenders. It's going to be Novi, PX, and Midi, all top floor. Wall outside of west balcony is getting opened up here as Nest going to hammer his way into the inspection room. Now, fortunately for him, he's not going to spot anybody just yet, so he won't be in any harm's way. However, Boar is inside of that server, which is where the diffuser needs to get planted. Now with a minute 40 to go, Uke has taken his advantage of the drone that he sees. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to hop on inside. However, they do need to be wary of someone trying to hop on out. That C4 placement from Novi, though, going to tag quite a bit of a distraction here onto BRK. However, we do have Julio, who's just like, nope, I know exactly what you're doing, and I'm going to grab that shot down onto him. So a good read by Julio. Tossing out one more grenade, however, the C4 kill from RCK comes splattering up to kill Zig. And as RCK gets hit with some bullets from the side of the main lobby, we are going to see Nesk be traded down for the count, as now RCK is going to feel those final bullets as PX will take out Julio and Uke will drop PX. "45 seconds to go. Diffuser has been planted here by Glaz, and there's only 2 members left to go in the attacking squad. With Glaz being so drastically hurt, Boar does have an opportunity to pull this clutch off, but he will have to do it quickly. He's got to figure out where the attackers are. He's going to spot one here momentarily. Just need to look to the side, goes for the kill. Can he get it? He's going to swing around, actually tags him down for the count, and it looks as though now it's going to be a one-on-one. With about 25 seconds to go, we're going to see Boar try to reload his magazine, force his way in. Now, I don't think he realizes that Uke is close right. So with that, we are mostly going to see Uke here with a shot. He misses the target and finally gets with the second kill, and there will be the shot to down and finish it off for the count. Now, BRK will go up in this round, 3-2 now at the moment. So here we have it now. Round number 6 is going to get underway with BRK going onto the defensive squad. Same typical operators we've seen before. You bring the Pulse, obviously, for that vertical gameplay, for that C4 toss, and Valkyrie as well. I would not expect to see Nesk on anything but Valkyrie. Therefore, he has decided to choose that yet one more time, making sure that these reinforcements are kept, period. Zig's going to be reinforcing portions of the fountain. Again, that's where one of the mirror windows go in this defensive setup.
Restam 10 segundos. 5 segundos restantes. Os atacantes estão a caminho para localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now, one of the changes that we've seen with Valkyrie in recent seasons has been the use of transitioning off of her shotgun and going with that MPX. That transition seemed to occur during Operation Red Crow when the Caliber Destruction was introduced to the game. A portion of that was due to the fact that now the Deagle can create these holes, these massive holes, which we saw Nesk creating earlier, allowing for murder holes to just be instantly made. And it's also because of the balancing of the shotguns. The CEST.EST, which is the shotgun that we typically see on Valkyrie, has gotten a little bit of a rework, a little bit of a balance recently in the past few seasons, and that's why we're starting to see that MPX come about, because the 3 Valkyrie cameras she has are very useful, very effective, especially in the hands of Nesk, and now it seems as though that MPX will also be powerful. Novi working his way up towards the central west corridor. He's going to follow the drone, and this is something that we typically have not seen much of, or at least we're not expecting much of here in the Pro League for Latin America, is this synergy between droning and collapsing. This droning and following. We witnessed that just now with Novi being the Ash. Typically what you'll see is Ash just running right up, but this time what you're seeing is drones coming first. Midi's going to spot out the Pulse on right. He's going to spot out the Bandit on the left. Actually, no, Midi knows. Midi did not see. He's going to see the shots there onto Bandit, but did not see Pulse. Pulse moved down underneath the desk at the perfect time. Now as Novi has gotten his way into the monitors room, we are going to have that pulse sensor from BRK come on over, and as he hops right on over top, he's going to take out the shots there onto Zig, I believe that was, and Novi will then go falling by Nesk here from the Archives Lounge. Now one unfortunately did not get the upper hand on that kill, and therefore his teammate will be passed down. A 4-on-4 is going to ensue with 40 seconds left to go. PX here on the west stairs, working his way forward. Now what he could do here is get onto the barbed wire, hop into the left middle office, but he's got to be wary of Nest. He sees the shots, he actually downs him for the count. Now he does have 2 grenades he could toss his way, but hard left is going to be Mira. With 20 seconds left to go, grenades are going to get tossed on out, and what's going to happen here, we're going to see Mira just stationary at the moment, waiting for someone to come on in. Flashbang's going to get RCK blinded for a few moments as he's going to have to back on out, but that should be okay as they're going to move on forward. We do have some shots laying down from Jaeger to take out a C4 kill as well from Julio. We're now going to have more kills happening here, and the defenders are going to magically come out of top, and we are going to have round 6 go in the hands of BRK. That's going to even it out now to 3-3 with BRK coming back into tie this up in this best of 3 series on this map. Again, map number 1 went in favor of BRK. And we're going to be looking here to see if they can take it on home in this second map. If not, we will be headed on to Cholet as our 3rd and final map.
Atacantes precisam encontrar e desativar o número máximo de bombas.
Taking a look, looks like bomb sites will go back upstairs with Midi and Novi's playing the Jaeger and Valkyrie. RCK going to go with Amira, as well as PX choosing the Bandit. Now this is the same setup, the same lineup that we've previously seen from MG. And it looks as though this time they are deciding to not necessarily utilize all the resources they thought possible on the triple walls on the west balcony. Instead, they're opting to simply reinforce the single wall, possibly putting a mirror charge there. If not, just leaving it as is.
Os atacantes estão a caminho para localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now we did just see a little bit of a hop up here. Looked as though Midi has just gotten up onto this desk. Not quite sure exactly how he was able to. I think it might have been a walk on top of a person. With that, we are going to have Yuke working his way into the break room, trying to see if someone's going to rotate through the middle corridor. Spotted the one Valk cam, got that down for the count. A good eye there by Yuke. He's now going to open up some of the wall. Oh, turned his head away at the wrong time as Mira. That was RCK trying to rotate around and cross his way through that middle corridor. One's going to toss out one EMP over here towards that west balcony, that west wall. Now it's time for Nesk to do his work. The majority of Nesk and what he's done has been to rush in, get the kills in an awkward and decisive fashion, and make sure that the team never knows he's even coming. Thermite will easily get this wall opened up. There's not going to be a bandit trick on it just yet, so therefore we see it blowing open sky high. And now we're going to have Zig finishing to drone out the west archives, west lockers. Ness grabbing the information he needs, is now going to move on forward. It looks as though Novi's will take that shot there onto Yuke, I think it was. No, it was onto Novi. Julio playing the Hibana. He's outside by the lockers, I believe that was. Nesk, however, is inside of that break room yet again on the south balcony now, rotating on out. Julio going to move forward. This is the wall that's been opened up here earlier by Thermite. So right now what he's doing is trying to open up the mirror window, which will successfully get done. And that's RCK now no longer able to use this to his safety. Ness still continuing to drone on out here. Zig just got rid of the barbed wire. This is going to allow him to push on in, but he's got to be cautious because there is still RCK bottom right through that mirror window. You're going to have that, I believe that is going to be the Hibana repelling on inside. Flashbangs are going to go. Now the sound of that stun grenade is going to deafen the defenders. We are going to see this plan try to go down, but no, Zig gets tagged in the process and is injured before we see the diffuser get planted. Midi's going to tag that kill there onto Nesk with with Thermite being injured. 10 seconds to go. We're going to see RCK pull off another kill, as well as Midi. So now it's a 2-on-4, and Hibana's going to reach on inside, grab that shot, slap him across the face, and we're going to see Boar and RCK pick up the final 2 kills here for BRK, or for MG. Now we do have Merciless Gaming leading this map right now in a match point. If Merciless can take home this attack round, we will see this go into our 3rd and final map of this best of 3 series on Chalet. Julio playing the mirror. He's going to be reinforcing the walls on the west balcony, most likely playing up top. Typically what we'll see here is a lot of pressure, very similar to like we said before, which you're going against a team that's playing on Chalet in the trophy room and kitchen. You want to take over that top floor, and this is what BRK is trying to prevent. They've got their mirror window on that reinforced wall, making sure that, okay, it won't be opened as easily as they were expecting it to, as the bomb site has navigated downstairs to the ventilation and servers room.
Os atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now with what could be the final round of this map underway, we are going to spot out RCK working his drone towards the east stairwell. That's going to allow Twitch, which is PX, to get on upstairs. First, he's going to take his drone spot out. He's going to tag a shot there, though, onto Smoke. Yuke now trying to hide from that Twitch drone as he moves back into the middle offices. Now, Novi, very cautious of someone being inside of that fountain. He does have some information that is clear, so he's going to progress forward into the archives, looking for a little peek. He does have PX trying to drone this out for him. That's going to allow Novi to move forward. On over here, that's going to be Smoke again being hit with another shock or Twitch drone, but the C4 from underneath is going to be Zig downing or finishing off Novi's and Midi. That is going to be a tremendous job getting rid of the Hibana and the Ash. There are 2 3 speeds off the board immediately, with still a lot of time left on the board here for the defenders. We are going to have a gas grenade, though, coming out of Yuke's hands to finish off Boar. Last 2 alive here for MG are going to be PX and RCK. Twitch drone looking like the Twitch is looking like she's going to be inside of the office area now, moving in towards archives. They realize they still need to gain control of this top floor. Without it, it will most likely prove to be an ineffective push onto the site. However, one is going to be here on the west lobby of the lockers, and Yuke still holding down his own angle here on the top floor, looking like it's going towards the offices. This is a very tricky angle that he most likely will get the kill on. He sees RCK, goes for the shot. What an angle. I don't know if you guys just realized that that's inside of the break room. Tremendous job there by Yuke, just unfortunately not able to get all the kills that he needed. Another C4 is going to get tossed on up as the shots come raining down from Zig. That's a 3K for him. Can he get the last one? He calls it on now. He's pinging it. That's also Diffuser here in the hands of PX. And the final kill will go down. We are going to have BRK securing round 8, and we're headed into overtime. It's now 4-4 here on Border. Again, for those of you guys that are just joining us today, this is a solo cast happening by me, Bloodbath, and Kix, unfortunately, is feeling under the weather and is not able to join us today. He wishes he was here. He tried his best to be here, but we do wish him to get well soon. Now, we are here. This is map number 2 on our first game, our first series of the evening between BRK Esports and Merciless Gaming. Our next series, which we'll talk about here in a few moments, is going to be Nox Gaming going up against Santos Dexterity. So stay tuned for that game. That's going to be our second series of the evening. However, if Merciless Gaming can pull 2 out of the next 3 rounds in their favor, we will see this go into the third and final map on Chalet.
Restam 10 segundos. Faltam 5 segundos.
Taking a look here, the bomb sites will go back upstairs. Ness gonna pop on out, open up, and throw that same Valk cam each and every time. Now, the benefit to this Valkyrie camera that we constantly see, and this is actually his best toss yet that we've seen, is gonna allow him to see if they're coming from the east or the west balcony and pop on out at the perfect time to try to get a wall bang, or at least get an early peek. That camera is not necessarily meant to stay there the entire time. It's meant more for an early on engagement. If it can stay the test of time, possibly it'll lead to some more information. But the majority of it is for Nesk in the first 30 seconds of the round, which it looks as though right now he's going to stay put. Now with Boar spotting that hole open in the wall, I wouldn't be surprised if we go and see PX or Boar try to go for a little peek here as he goes up underneath. Midi again trying to drone out some more. He gets spotted off on that drone. Julio, though, trying to open up more of the floor. And it looks as though he has stirred the bee's nest. Novi's looking on up. He's going to take a couple shots and miss every single one of them onto Julio. Unfortunately, he will also escape with his life. A 5-on-5 still underway with plenty of time here for both sides, the attackers and defenders. Novi's is still waiting for some people to move through the holes that have been opened up. However, we do have these shots from Uke going to land them down on the PX. That is Buck being gone for the count. Now, we do have another shot coming out of Uke's hands to land the headshot there right onto Novi. That's going to be PX and Novi, 2 of the destructible operators down. Capital, Habana, and Thermite are the last 3, with RCK and Midi both being over here on the west balcony and monitors room, as well as Boar. Now, unfortunately for Midi, he's going to have 2 pellet charges left to go. He's going to open up one and opt to go for the other here instead of making it a hole that they can get in through. And this is actually going to be Uke destroying the majority of those charges and forcing a death there as he gets a 3rd kill. Boar's going to take up 2 kills, though. Now it's a 3-on-2. 3 kills have now been happening here by Uke. He just got traded off here by Boar. Now, Boar and RCK are going to have to work together to get this down if they want it in their bag. 30 seconds left to go. We are going to have Pulse, Valkyrie, and Mira, the last 3 defenders alive. Nesk is going to be in the back of the archives room, and that's actually looking like where we're going to see MG try to go for the push. Might see that, or we might not. We are going to see this push into the archives room. It looks as though Zig's going to peek on around. He goes for the kill, but he cannot get it just yet. He does have C4 he could toss, but he's going to overextend and finally get the shots out. No, he landed out of ammo, goes for the pistol kill, but he misses it. And we are going to have the defenders take home this win, and it's going to be right now, I believe this is BRK. I'm sorry, no, the blue team got up on that round. I want to take a look and see. Yes, it is BRK securing that round as a defender. Therefore, we are going to see this go in favor of BRK 5-4 at the moment. This is also match point and series point. BRK just needs to win one more out of the next 2 rounds to get themselves in that winner spot victory and ultimately finish off this series with a 2-0 lead. Now MG has decided to go back upstairs to their preferred favorite bomb site. This has worked out for them once before. However, it has also failed once before. So we're going to have to see if they've learned their mistakes and tried to improve upon some of the hiccups, some of the hurdles that they encountered on this floor and on this bomb site. And unfortunately, it looks as though we might be experiencing a little bit of a freeze here. There we go. A little bit of stuttering, nothing to worry about. Here we are, PX now working to get this door opened up. Working on over here. So we are going to see PX again. He's got 3 out of his 4 batteries still left to go. He's going to be placing them down on this mirror window by the fountain. Midi again up in this spot on the corner of Archives. Again, a very unique spot which we have not seen utilized before here in the Pro League. Novi's being underneath. He's going to play a vital role towards the final moments of the round and also during some mid-game flanks, but that's if he doesn't get droned out, which he is right now by 1. He's going to destroy that drone and then move on out of sight, move on over to servers and relocate himself. With PX still here inside of the fountain, he's most likely just going to stay there, keep control of office as best as he can. With Julio trying to cover the southeast side of the balcony, make sure no one's going to run on outside. Nesk still trying to be very aggressive, opening up the wall towards the middle fountain hallway, and that will allow for a bit of a breaching charge if he needs it. A minute 42 to go here as Nesk is still getting on top of the south balcony. 5-on-5 with very little engagement happening between the two, but still plenty of time. Zig's going to hop back on drone. Drone some more information for Nesk, who's most likely going to take that last breaching charge of his, get rid of some of the barbed wire inside of the office, push on in to get his skills that are needed. Zig wants to hop into this window. He's got 3 stun grenades that he could easily toss on inside, but again, he's got to be cautious, as the rest of his team doesn't necessarily seem to be too close to him. He's kind of solo at the moment, and he has the diffuser. I do believe Thatcher might be rotating on over to him, but again, with the diffuser in your hands and you're all alone, it's not necessarily the best case scenario. There is that breaching charge from Nest to get rid of the barbed wire. He's going to get one more drone, a couple more seconds to go. We're going to go and spot out the bandit. That's PX. Tosses in 1 flashbang. This is the power of these flashbangs being on Ashy. Flashbangs him out, goes for the shot, but is instantly taken down by Midi. A wonderful shot here inside of the Archives. What an angle on top of the Archive units, looking right in towards that middle entry point into the offices. Wall will get opened up after they now taken out PX here after that collapse. A 4-on-4 with 20 seconds up to go. The attackers might get this down, but it's going to be a skirmish for the run, and that's going to be Diffuser falling as Novi's will kill off Zig. Novi's going to try to back on that. He's going to get another headshot here onto 1. And now we've got 2 members left for BRK. That's going to be Yuke, who just got taken out. Novi coming out strong with a 4K. To just finish off the round here, and that leaves the final round up in the air as MG has just secured round number 10. It's now 5-5 in what is seemingly going to be the last round here on Border. Now it looks as though BRK is going to have the ability to go on defense. However, they will be going downstairs to the ventilation room and the servers. Unfortunately, with them winning their top 4 site, they will now have to navigate down to the less favorable bomb site, which I believe they have won before. It's just a matter of will they be able to do it again. We're We're going to see Julio work his way upstairs yet again, opening up or reinforcing one of the walls, placing a mirror window on it, and again, holding down this top floor site much like you would if you were on the defensive squad on Chalet, holding that top floor right above the kitchen. Now, with this being the final round, I would not expect any significant tricks to go. We are still seeing the standard operators, pretty much what we've been seeing each and every time from both of these teams.
Restam 5 segundos. Os atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Taking a look here, RCK has spawned out by the east side, the East Valley spawn, working his way towards site. Novi's though, taking his time, getting rid of the stationary default cam, working his way now more towards the south and west side of the map. Novi's again playing the Ash. Novi's played a very vital role, obviously, in that round last time. Will he be able to keep up the momentum? Is kind of what we're looking forward to this time around. Looks like we will have Uke inside of the monitors. Novi's going to try to rush on in here. He's opening up the wall. We're going to see a double rush in. And this is actually going to be very beneficial. However, Mini will fall as Uke is right there to just tap him down with an SMG-11 kill to the head. 4 on 5 now. And I don't quite think that's going to prove to be very good, as that was the Hibana. Now, if they want to open up any walls or drop hatches, they're going to have to rely on the 2 charges from RCK. Looks as though we will have Boar pick off that kill now onto Uke, as we had RCK drop, or sorry, Novi's drop into the monitors, or into the inspection lounge. Now Novi's going to move on forward, tries to go for the kill, and it looks like he will be successful as he just caught Pulse off guard, but Nesk is there to trade it off as Novi will now fall. 3 on 3 now, with 1:43 left to go. Still plenty of time, but these little pocket pieces of aggression, sometimes necessary, sometimes not. That's going to be Thatcher, Thermite falling, and another kill here by Julio. Last but not least is going to be PX. He's now giving away his position in a 3-on-1. We're going to see Nesk inside of the bathroom try to come on out here for PX momentarily with another 2 members. That's going to be the Yokai, Echo, as well as Mira. Mira's going to be Julio, and we've got 1 inside of the B site. They have secured all possible ways to get into the site here, and they are ready to take this home. This is not looking good for MG, and if BRK can win this, this is the final round here for this series. BRK just needs to hold tight. 60 seconds left to go, and it's up to MG, it's up to PX to make the move. That's going to be the Yokai Droden telling him exactly where he's at. Right now, Nesk is holding it nice and steady. He's going to be inside of the bathroom waiting for the rotation around. PX is still trying to get on inside with 50 seconds left to go. He's going for the kill. He tags 1. He's going to go for another. Now 1's going to come on out of the B site, move on over towards the middle hallway. Diffuser's not even in the hands of PX, so he will be taking this Call of Duty style, we'll say, taking it, trying to go on a 2-on-1 now. We do have a little short angle here, a little drop shot. However, PX grabs the kill. There's 60 health left on him, and he's just got 1 drone left to go. The drone of the camera above him is going to spot him out. We're going to have Nesk working his way through inspection, and that's going to be very unfortunate. He's got to go out and get that and get the diffuser. He's moving on forward. 15 seconds to go. His back is right now to the Echo. They've moved on in sight. He's got to rotate on over, and now he's going to be inside of the site planting. Nesk trying to be very cautious, waiting to hear it. He's going to take 1 shot, baits it on out. Stops it for the time being, and now he's waiting for the shot to come. Calls on forward, goes for the kill, and Nesk is going to get it. We are going to have BRK Esports secure round 11, winning this series 2-0. Fabulous job here by Nesk. This is one of the reasons why he is such a valuable player here on BRK. One of the most impactful players that we've seen thus far. So congratulations to BRK Esports securing their winner's spot in the next wave of this group stage. And unfortunately for Merciless Gaming, we will have to see them in the losers bracket in the near future. Again, BRK Esports wins 2-0, comes out on top after a tremendous showing there on the first map of Consulate, and a more closer match, we'll say, here on Border. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean Bloodbath Rosenbaum. I'm here solo casting this evening as Kix is feeling under the weather. He wishes he was here with all of his heart, but unfortunately he's unable to. So we do wish him the best. Now, we are going to get underway. We're actually going to go to a little break here first, but we want to take a look at some highlights, which will happen here momentarily. First off, though, congratulations again to BRK Esports. BRK Esports was formerly known as Black Dragons during Season 1. They made it all the way to the Grand Finals to play up against Penta, and you can see just why with their gameplay. Fantastic communication, great collapsing and strategies that we saw. So with that, That's some of the stuff that we're expecting to see from a lot of these Latin American teams, especially some of the top-tier teams like we just saw BRK Esports do. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at some of these highlights here. Again, just lots of work being done. Nesk being a very impactful player. PX as well, going for 2 kills here. One of the things I hope that we get to see here is going to be Yuke's 4K. Yuke had a tremendous 4K here on one of the rounds towards the very end. I think it was the first overtime round. But there's going to be that C4 toss. Again, lots of navigation. Perfect timing here by Nesk to get that 1 kill and then get traded off very quickly. We do see a lot of power coming out of these teams. Both teams fighting tooth and nail as they manage to go into the 11th round of overtime on this map. Now that was Novi's being very aggressive, able to hop right over the table and get the kill into Pulse without being killed off in the process. However, this is where RCK just kept getting fed kills as they kept on going for him back and forth right in front of him. Now this is Yuke's 4K. He picked up 2 kills, and the rest of his team ended up not getting the kills that he needed. There's Novi tagging onto 1. He gets traded off here. Now this is coming to the final round. PX gets 1 kill here. Now this is the 1-on-3. Unfortunately for BRK Esports, they were able to secure this win. Now this is the final kill of the round here for BRK. He's going to peek on around and he will tag him down for the count. So a wonderful job there for BRK Esports. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that was the first best-of-3 series here for the Latin American Pro League on tonight's showing. We do have one more game for us, and that's going to be between Nox Gaming and Santos Dexterity. One of those teams' names, if you are unfamiliar with the Latin American team, one of those team names may still sound familiar to you. That's due to Santos Dexterity being a part of the 6th Invitational back in February. But before we talk even more about them, let's head over to a short break, and we'll get ready with the next series after these short minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the the Latin American Pro League. Playday number 1 here. My name is Sean Bloodbath Rosenbaum, and as you can see, I'm here all by myself today. We have Kickstar, who was unable to join us this evening as he is feeling under the weather, and so we do wish him to get well soon. Now, he did want to be here as much as possible, but he did give me some insight on some of the teams, and so we'll have to go through that later on this evening. But what we did just witness previously was some would call a one-sided map and a very close map. On Consulate, we had the two teams of BRK Esports, as well as the opponents that they were going up against, which I'm unfortunately... Oh, Merciless Gaming. I was drawing a blank for a second. I was like, MG. Merciless Gaming. Merciless Gaming and BRK Esports were the two teams that just fought tooth and nail. Now, on Consulate was the first map of that best of 3, and it went very much one-sided most of the time, with BRK coming out on top. 5-2 was the ending score for that game. Now, the next game on Border ended up going 6-5. In the 11th round, BRK came out with Nesk in a one-on-one fashion to take home the second round, leading 2-0. That was the end of that series, and now we're here about ready to start our second map. Let's take a look at the teams, our first team, which is going to be Nox Gaming. Nox Gaming is going to be the first team, the lineup for their roster, as that's going to be the squad that is first going off here. We've got Nox Gaming going up against Santos Dexterity. Santos Dexterity is going to be the team that used to be in the Six Invitational. They were invited to represent the Latin American region, and they put on quite a showing during that time. They placed into the semifinals, ultimately getting defeated by Continuum, and that put them on the mark. That put the Latin American Pro League scene on the mark and definitely started making more people pay more attention to that region of the world and the meta development that happens in South America. Now, with that being said, we do have a lot to see with tonight's game between Santos Dexterity and Nox Gaming, with another team that we had formerly heard of, and we know that we watched them just recently, was BRK. BRK Esports was formerly known as the Black Dragons team, which placed second in the world during the LAN event last season. So let's take a look here at the lineups for our teams. And let's start with Nox Gaming. So Nox Gaming, we're going to have 5 members of their team here on Nox. It's Cyber, Cessia, Lipe, Sexy Cake, and Hugzord. I kind of like that name, Sexy Cake. I've never actually seen such a fabulous name other than Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. But for that being said, like I said earlier, guys, we do have a lot of stats that we will be gathering throughout the season. One of the reasons why there are 0 stats at the moment is because the stats that we provide you are seasonal, and that may change in the future, but for the time being, we have 0 for everything. We'll have to change that and update it as the weeks progress, as we do get more stats, and these players play more and more as the weeks go on. Now, that was Nox Gaming. Let's take a look at our roster for the second team, Santos Dexterity. Santos Dexterity has a more familiar roster, which we've seen before. We've seen Gohan, Astro, we have Cameraman, we have Moringa, Hams Moringa, I'll say, and Mav. Now, this is the team that played at the Invitational Season 2 champs for the Elite 6, which is like a pro league in Brazil. They have also won the BGL in Brazil, which is a large tournament in the Latin American scene. Now, HS and Mav both are players on their teams with definite impacts that they can pursue for their team. Now, the player that we want to keep an eye out most on Santos Dexterity, which we've talked about before, the Six Invitational, was Gohan. He's kind of the person that is oftentimes going to be one of the people that creates a lot of friction. A lot of friction with the opponents, meaning that he's able to create scenarios that causes distractions and ultimately comes out on top of those distractions. So with that, we do have those two teams. Those are our rosters for the day for these two teams. Talking about what we might see here, well, let's talk about what we previously saw. Let's go through the map bans. We have our both Nox Gaming and Santos Dexterity both ready to ban their maps. Again, all 9 maps are in the pool. To kick it off, we are going to see Nox choose the first map. Now, what we saw previously was Coastline being the last map available, and that was banned finally in the 6th ban by BRK Esports. Now, Clubhouse is going to be the first choice here for Nox, and Santos Dexterity is going to answer their own We'll have to see what they choose with. Coastline is one of those maps, though, that still has a lot of development left to go. Skyscraper, though, going to be that first pick here for SFG. Now, we talked about Coastline real quick. Coastline is one of those maps that still has a lot of development left on it, and therefore teams are still not entirely comfortable picking it. There's still a lot of strategy to be left, still a lot of strategy left to be made, a lot to be uncovered, and therefore we will ultimately most likely see that banned off. Consulate, however, will be Nox's second choice of maps to not play this evening, and that's going to leave the second ban here up to Santos Dexterity. Now, what we saw previously was for our 3 maps, we had Border, Consulate, and Chalet left on the board here, and we only have Border and Chalet of those final 3. Consulate is no longer in the mix, as we do have Nox taking that out, so that means we have Border, Chalet, as well as Cafe just got removed, and Oregon, and Bank. Now, Bank's one of the maps that typically gets removed. It's almost not made it to the final 3 many a times. It's kind of in the lower third of the maps that get chosen. But it would be nice to see. So with Santos Dexterity banning out Chalet, it is very possible that we could see some Bank today if we make it to that 3rd game. So with Bank, Border, and Oregon being the final 3 maps, we have a very good chance of seeing Border again, as well as some Oregon play and Bank. Now, with these 3 maps, we talked a little bit about Border. We watched some Border play just now between the final 2 teams of BRK and MG. Miscellaneous. Not miscellaneous. MG. But no, so MG game, Merciless Gaming, that's the name I'm looking for off the top of my head. Merciless Gaming just played on Border, and that is the map that went all the way to the 11th round. And they did show a lot of neat things. They showed some good stuff there, holding top 4 the way that they need to be held, so that the bottom floor and the bottom bomb site inside of the ventilation unit and servers could be held successfully by BRK in that final round. A very good job to their team. But let's see what maps are going to be chosen first. So Border is going to be our first map here by Nox Gaming choosing it, and we're going to have them starting on the defensive side as Santos Dexterity opted to start on the attack. Our second map of the evening is either going to be Oregon, or it's going to be Bank. And Bank is one of those maps, like I said, has been in kind of the lower tier, the lower 3 maps chosen by many teams. And we actually are going to see that chosen by Santos Dexterity, which is going to bring a smile to my face because it's one of those maps that I enjoy playing. I think that it can have a lot more development on it, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get to see that here tonight. Now, with Bank, we just saw Border, so we'll leave Border up for grabs for now. But with Bank, Bank is one of those maps that typically has 3 out of the 4 bomb sites chosen by many of the teams. That basement hold inside of the servers and CCTV room, or lockers and CCTV room, typically is the primary spot that's chosen. Most teams then prefer for their second site to go with the tellers and archives. However, there are some teams that like to stretch the limit and go into the open area and kitchen. Most teams, however, do try to stay away from that top 4 site inside of the CEO office and meeting room, as it's just way too exposed with the attackers being able to breach on all sides. Now, with that being the case, we also have the fact that Glaz got his buff recently and now just got a smaller nerf with regards to his damage, but he's still able to cover nearly the entire front of Bank, in that atrium, the entire lobby, and the top floor, all from the top of garage at a very safe distance. Especially having that thermal scope on his gun is going to make it very difficult for a team to opt to choose that top 4 site. So that means we will most likely see that bottom floor as well as the tellers and archives. But only time will tell, as we will get underway with that second map later on. Oregon, however, is going to be our 3rd map for the deciders, should we get to it. Which, not knowing much about either of these teams, it's very possible that we could get to it, just as we were very close to getting to our 3rd map of Chalet in our previous matchup. Now, with Border being the map that is going to be the first one we'll see today, let's take a look and let's talk about some of the things that we saw previously with regards to how we saw BRK holding their site. One of the things BRK did was they brought the mirror to the top 4 bomb hold every single time. And what they did, they reinforced the single wall inside the office next to the triple wall facing east balcony. They reinforced a single wall. They kept a bandit or a pulse there. Most of the time it was a pulse. And then they also had a mirror inside of the fountain with one of the walls reinforced and a mirror window on that. That allowed them to create a very nice crossfire, which ultimately led to a lot of time and a lot of distraction that the opponents, Merciless Gaming, needed to fight with. They didn't necessarily spend too much time inside of the basement or inside of the first floor due to the fact that they had a lot of coverage in the office, a lot of coverage in Fountain, as well as they stuck some people inside of the open area, inside of the CCTV room. And that area is another one of the key spots that attackers love to take advantage of for both top and bottom floor defensive sites. So typically what we'll see there for those holds are just what we saw BRK do. Merciless Gaming, though, also did a fantastic job bringing it to the 11th round, as we said previously. And that basically means that they know their stuff as well. And that's one of the maps I feel like is going to be a key map in the Latin American scene this season. We're going to see a lot of border because it is so diverse, and it does allow for a lot of different styles of play. Like we saw with BRK and with Merciless, we saw a lot of droning and a lot of team coordination, which obviously you expect to see. But at this high-level play, it was fabulous to see, even more so from the Latin American scene, which has typically been, we'll say, underrated by some. And I think now they're changing that view because they are proving that they have what it takes to play with everyone else in the world, as they have had their shot at the big leagues. Now, here on Border, we will be getting away in a little bit, but let's take a look and discuss a little bit about some of the other bomb sites that we've seen here today. On Border, we saw that ventilation room and the servers. Now, what we typically saw here was a hole being opened up from the servers room, going into the bathroom with one of the walls barricaded, the doorway being barricaded, so that it wasn't an easy rotation into the bathroom and swooping into the servers. That's where Nesk had played with Echo in that 1v3 at the end of the final round, and ultimately it worked out very well for him. It allows him to stay in a nice safe location. We does have the floor above him breachable, but they didn't. The opponents, MG, did not decide to go for it. So with that being said, you had Nesk inside of the bathroom on his yokai drone, safe and sound, tucked away, and that's going to allow him to then get that yokai around the town, around the city, and around the map to determine where the opponents are pushing in from. That's how we had the Twitch get spotted out. And ultimately, that's what allowed him to get around into the inspection room, following up behind Twitch, and then ultimately got the clutch of the round there and won the round for his team. Talking about the ventilation room itself, there was some barbed wire placed outside of the door, which again, very typical to do. It's you want to make sure that they can't get in easily. Now, the top floor bomb site, when the bottom floor is the bomb site, you typically will have some defenders split and go top floor. You'll either have a 2-3 split or a 3-2, whatever it may be. In general, we saw a 2-3 split with 3 members on the first floor, 2 on the top. That's going to allow some more pushback from the defenders as the attackers try to onslaught their way above the site, opening it very up, much like you see on many other maps, such as Clubhouse or such as Chalet, such as Consulate, many other maps where you do play vertical. And those are the kinds of things that we expect to see from teams today. Now, with Border being that first team, it is something that, or being that first map, it is something that is, again, going to be expected from both of these teams of Nox and Santos Dexterity. Now, with Nox Gaming being fairly, we'll say, newer to you guys being here viewers of the English stream, we don't know an overabundance about them. There are some players on that team that have started to formulate, we'll say, some newer meta. We talked about earlier how some of the players from the Latin American scene, some of the teams from the Latin American scene, they seem to be the ones that help drive new bomb site development. We know that some of the teams have ended up trying to stretch the limit on some of the maps, such as along the lines of Flipside being able to go with the Clubhouse or the cash room hold on Clubhouse. We've seen that happen in the Latin American scene with Nox Gaming. That's one of the teams that has been at the forefront of trying to develop new strats for new bomb sites, possibly taking Chalet, Barn Gaming, or some other unpredictable bomb sites that are then called little pocket strats or ace in the holes that you might be able to pull out in a time of need, much like we've seen before in the past. Now, with that being said, here on Border, one of those sites that could be coming out of the woodwork would be that Tellers and Supplier, that Tellers and Bathroom bomb site. We saw that with Santos Dexterity during the 6th Invitational, and ultimately it proved to be very useful for them going up against their quarterfinal opponents. In the semifinals, when they were going up against Continuum, I believe they brought out that strategy yet again, and it worked out on a few rounds, but ultimately did not lead to their victory. Continuum ended up going to take that win and then lead against Era Eternity inside of the grand finals of the 6th Invitational in February. Now, with Border being the first map, we are going to move on to our second map of Bank. We did talk a little bit about Bank earlier and how the majority of the times the teams will go downstairs in the basement for their first defensive site. That site has actually developed quite a bit different over time. We've seen some development with regards to keeping a smoke or a Valkyrie inside of servers, which generally you'll keep that smoke closer to home. You'll keep him inside of the red corridor to toss out those gas grenades towards the very end when the onslaught and the push from the attackers is coming. Basically, your Valkyrie or your Pulse is going to be who's typically seen inside of that server to make sure that the stairs and the tunnel push are met with their own force of attack. Now, for a force of resistance, we'll say. Now, for the most part, that's where the engagement typically comes down to, very much just like in Cafe, that top of the red stairs, you've got everyone funneling in through there, spearheading their way in through Cigar Lounge, trying to get into the bar from red stairs. Very similar to that is how Bank gets played out on the basement side. You're going to have people pushing in from servers, spearheading their way into the CCTV room, and ultimately trying to get a plant down either behind a shield or opening up the wall by the server stairs to then place that diffuser backwards, hopefully getting out of sight, out of mind, and getting the plant down. Now, one of the other bomb sites that we typically see there on Bank is going to be that Archives and Tellers hold. And that Archives and Tellers hold is something that has developed over time to be one of probably the second favorite bomb site. It's a bomb site that is odd in the sense that 3 out of the 4 sides can be attacked, whether it be walls, windows, or doorways. And a lot of that seems to be something that teams are okay with dealing with, being surrounded in that particular regards. It's very similar to how Train and Mining Room are kept, or Fireplace and Mining Room are kept under wraps with Cafe defensive holds. Some players or some teams will go and opt to play off-site, have 3 or 4 of their members either play upstairs or off-site inside of the open area, or inside of the loan office outside in the lobby. Many a times you'll see some players upstairs. What we haven't seen much of, though, is going to be a hard 5-man or 4-man on site inside of Tellers and Archives, and luckily so, it's because it's a very claustrophobic and tight-knit area. We also have seen a few people, a few teams try to develop even more by opening up that 3-wall inside of Archives to open up and create more of an avenue into the open area and extend the bomb site, if you will, into the open area, where they might open up that 3-wall, reinforce the 2 walls facing kitchen, and allow for a pathway through. But we are going to take a short break here while we do get underway with more of the lineups from the teams and the Brazilian League trying to get their members in and try to get the lobby started up. So we will take just a few-minute break, and we'll be back shortly, ladies and gentlemen. So please stick with us for the second best-of-3 series tonight in the Latin American Pro League. We have Santos, Dexterity, and Nox Gaming. So please stick with us. welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with the first matchup here between Santos Dexterity and Nox Gaming. We're going to be here on Border, and this is again map number 1, round number 1, and we're going to have Nox Gaming starting on defense, as we said earlier, and Santos Dexterity is going to have to take their chances on attack. Now, one of the things we see coming out of the woodworks right away is not going to be the Mira. Instead, we are going to see the Doc and Rook combination come out, which we actually saw very few of in the previous matchup here on Border. Now, with Nox Gaming choosing to go that top floor again, one of the most preferred bomb sites in this map, we are going to see again the collapse of people, the collapse of the team, or basically the stationary teams are going to stay put into the lockers. Let's use that word, lockers, and inside of the archives. Gohan, again, playing the Ash as he previously has. He's going to move in forward here from that west spawn, keeping an eye, making sure that if Valkyrie wants to make a peek or someone must go for a rotate, he should be able to get that shot down. Now, what that grenade, or what that Claymore is going to do is hopefully prevent a push out on the window so that they can rappel on that west balcony. You see cameraman throwing out his drone. He's going to move in forward here towards that ventilation unit, as Cyber is going to be right behind the office half wall. We do have Sexy Cake, though. He's got the P90, which is an unusual weapon to see on Rook, seeing as how the majority of players at this level prefer the MP5 and the ability and the recoil as well as the power that that gun brings. We see Leipzord also selecting that MP5, though, not going with the P90. So with still a little over half the round left to go, not much has happened just yet. A couple drones, a couple pieces of information being gathered. But there's our first little engagement, a little skirmish, and that's going to be Astro taking a few bullets, as well as Leip taking some. You can see the little hole that he's got right there. He's going for the headshot, but he misses his target. Going to go for another peek, and unfortunately, he's just not going to land the shots that are needed. Still half the round left to go. We're going to take a look over here at cameraman as he is opening up the west wall inside of the site into lockers. Behind the half wall is where we're going to see Sexy Cake. He's just going to be right behind the half wall. Now, Leipzord has smoothed himself up, but the headshot does not protect him, or the stim pistol does not protect him from the headshot, as we have Selly, going to go for that shot onto Astro and finishes him off nice and easily. Now it's a 4-on-3 at the moment, as we now have Sexy Cake, who's been injured behind half wall. There's only 3 members left to go. It's going to be Hugs, Cyber, and Valkyrie. Those are going to be our final 3 members, as we do have Sexy Cake still injured. Taking a look here, 40 seconds left to go. Hugzord still waiting for someone to push on in. They will not be able to get this Rook pushed up just yet. The diffuser is going to get planted. He's going to pick up that kill. And now we got Sledge also pushing in, not actually seeing the rotation around. Hugs is going to get a double kill here. Last man alive is going to be Thatcher. He will tag down 1 kill into Cyber, tags another one down onto the Valkyrie. There's only 2 men left. 1 is injured. 1 is getting picked back up right now. And there's going to be the kill there from Hugzord. A 3K for him to finish off the round. It's going to be Nox Gaming securing round number 1 in this map on Border. Now, Saya was that member of Valkyrie that was caught up in that gunfight and ultimately did not come out on top. So Nox Gaming being on the attacking side right now, one of the things that we have to note about this team is that they are a very strat-heavy team. They are very passive. They are a slow team that likes to take their time droning out for their team and ultimately securing site, room by room, site by site, to give their team the best odds of winning over the round. And we are going to witness Dexterity going to this top floor again, just like almost every other team has done before them, making the archives and locker rooms theirs for the taking.
Os atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma
One of the things we are noticing, though, is that this wall is not reinforced. The west wall has been left soft, which is one of the first times I've seen that, especially when the bomb site is upstairs. So that must mean that they're expecting Nox to push in from the east balcony over into offices and then into the archives. We are not seeing a Monty or Glass come out of the woodwork just yet, but instead, for Santos Dexterity on the defensive squad, they're going to maintain that dock, but instead rotate out the Rook and pick up the Mira. We're going to watch Sexy Cake move on forward, trying to open up some of the wall here. That's going to be towards the big doorway into offices, trying to tag a headshot, but missing his target, just trying to wallbang a little bit here. Astro managing to lurk underneath inside. Gohan, though, he's going to be playing that dock inside of the opener, inside of the offices here. Diffuser will be in the hands of Lipe, though. As he tries to make his way from south balcony into the break room, he might have to go through the crosshairs of Gohan. Sexy Cake is going to get up to that south balcony and hopefully engage himself with Mav over here inside of the CCTV room, the monitors, as they are going to start engaging here momentarily. Cyber's hitting himself underneath inside of the teller's lounge as he's moving on forward towards bathroom and then into the servers. He's going to take that master key, take that skeleton key to open up the floor underneath, hopefully stir up some trouble, stir up some individual movement, as we will have Valkyrie securing that kill. That's Mav getting rid of the thermite. That's Lipe falling down.
bomba localizada pelos atacantes.
Now, fortunately for Mav, he does have that mirror window there to help give him a line of sight towards the east stairwell. He also was able to see the doorway into break room from here. And that, I believe, is where he got his first kill there onto Lipe. Keeping an eye here, we have 50 seconds left to go. Astro's going to pick up that kill onto Cyber, and that's going to not even out Mankind. It's going to make it go more in favor of Santos Dexterity as it's a 5-on-3. Last three members alive are going to be Sexy Cake, Saya, and Hug. Looks as though Hug's going to have that diffuser making his way over here. Sexy Cake trying to get into the open area, or into the offices, which is right where Gohan is, right on the other side of that half wall. And Sexy Cake's trying to figure out, how do I best get in here? Because I know there's one going to be in Fountain. I know there's going to be one inside of the side wall. How's it going to work out for him? The SMG-11, though, kill from Marugan is going to go for the shots. Hugs, though, able to get the shots down. That's going to be the F2 from Twitch, finishing off Astro. 15 seconds left to go. Hugzord's going to have to move on forward, and it looks as though Gohan will be taken on out from the drop shot of Hugzord. 2-on-3 now, and we are going to have Ash getting finished off, a 3-on-1. 2 seconds left to go. We are going to see this round go in the hands of Santos Dexterity after a grueling 3-minute round. Now we have it being 1-1 after 2 rounds. We are going to see this go back to a round number 3 with Nox Gaming going on defense. One of the things to note there is how patient Santos Dexterity was, especially in the offices with Gohan sitting in that corner the entire round, and we had everyone just very communicative and knowing where each other were, where the enemy was pushing in from. That's one of the key things to know about this game and about the high-level play is if you know where the push is coming from, if you know where the defenders or where the attackers are going to be making their push, you as a defender can navigate yourself, put yourself in a position to help deliver a solid wall of defense when it comes time for that push. We are going to see Nox Gaming select to go downstairs inside of that ventilation and servers room. Again, the second favored bomb site here on border. Now with Sexy Cake playing Valkyrie, that's one of the operators that came out during this Dustline DLC when this map became available, and she's played a vital role in many games, in many matches thus far. Sexy Cake is one of those operators that, again, Valkyrie is one of those operators that proves to be very useful. She's going to be tossing out one of her cameras towards the east balcony. Up and over the ledge it'll go, and hopefully it'll be in its target. Cameraman starting out here again by that west balcony. He's very cautious of the cameras getting tossed on out. Not quite sure if he'll spot the Valkyrie camera, but he will decide to place one Claymore down outside of the window of the A site. Or of the B site, I'll say. Still plenty of time here for the attackers to get underway. They are playing a 3-2 split with 3 roamers up top. You've got your Bandit, your Jaeger, and your Valkyrie. That's going to be Sexy, Hug, and Saya, all moving forward. Marunga placing 1 Claymore down at the bottom of the east stairwell. Going to tap the default cam, and hopefully Sexy Cake will be able to get a shot here. He's going to be positioning himself for the onslaught about to incur. Astro, though, moving forward into office, and we also have, believe that is Gohan. He's already in the archive. So they're going to work together to try to flush out Hugzord, who's working his way back and forth in lockers. You also have Saya in there. It looks as though we will have Hugzord right behind the lockers. So Astro now going to have his line of sight right onto the head of Hugs. Astro getting a nice shot there. Now, fortunately for Bandit, for Saya, he was not spotted out. If Dexterity believes that they've cleared it on out, we could be seeing a nice kill here from Saya. But instead, we are going to see Saya. No, Saya does not pick up that kill. He will be, or Life will be taken out by Marunga. And right here, Astro will get another kill and a Sexy Cake as he peeks on around. You do have Saya who rotated on through. That's going to be a 3rd kill for Astro, taking out all 3 of the roamers up top. Last man alive is going to be Cyber for Nox Gaming. He's already gassed himself out. No, he has not gassed himself out. He's gassed out his counterpart, Mav. That's Sledge. Now the gas grenade from underneath has injured him, but not killed him. And unfortunately, with Pro League settings, you do not get that indicator. We are going to have Cyber pick off 1 kill there into Ash, pulls out that shotgun, goes for the kill, and it will not happen, as that is Astro getting a tremendous 4K, finishing off Nox Gaming nearly single-handedly this round. We talked about keeping an eye on Gohan in case he was going to be their impact player, but Astro making a strong argument for keeping all eyes on him for this series.
Atacantes precisam encontrar e desativar o número máximo de bombas.
Now we will see Dexterity, Santos Dexterity, work their way downstairs to the same bomb site, which they just successfully attacked. And fortunately, I feel as though they will be successful. Oftentimes when a team can successfully attack a bomb site in that sort of fashion, it means that they've gone through it in a defense and an offensive manner, and they've learned the nooks and crannies. They've learned the ins and outs, the details necessary to successfully defend as well as attack. And when you can successfully attack a bomb site at this level, you can most of the time also successfully defend it, and that's what I'm expecting to see here with Santos Dexterity. Marunga, he's still going to be placing some reinforcements down inside of the servers. We are going to see what looks to be a 2-3 split, opposite of what we saw previously from Nox Gaming with their 3-2. Saya still moving on forward here from the east spawn, right underneath the stationary camera, right underneath the default cam, moving over to the bus. Now likely what he's going to do is hop on top of the bus here, move on up and get into the window of archives. Cyber, however, is already up here on the east balcony, about to repel inside. Just getting a couple more pieces of information before he decides to go all the way forward. So Sexy Cake realizing that he is a fuse, he's calling it out, saying, okay, we need to push on into the lockers. He has spotted the Valkyrie, also spotted Astro. He's called it all clear for now. Will he push in forward? No, he's going to breach charge it. This is it for the time being. Sexy Cake has his drone in a good location. Hopping up over half wall, he's going to spot the Valkyrie. Blows open the wall, goes for some shots here momentarily. That's going to force Valkyrie, force Mav to relocate, get on out of town. Now Mav's going to drop in through that center office back onto site along with Astro. They've wasted enough time. They're now ready to give it on up and move on away. However, we do see the Vector kill coming out and popping off the head of Hug. That is from Cameraman, looking on up through the hatch or through the wall. Very well-developed angle here. Cameraman and Snake, also, or Sexy Cake, also working their way forward. They're going to go through the wall instead of the doorway. Now C4 is going to get tossed and just barely. No, it does tag the booty of Sexy Cake. He will go down. Diffuser will fall. And now a 3-on-5 is going to ensue with 60 seconds left to go. Tremendous play here by Cameraman. Now the floor is getting opened up here by Lipe. However, he will get taken down by some of the holes he just made. Astro coming on out of the woodwork. He grabs 2 kills coming on up top. Last man alive is going to be Saya, and he will be taken down in a trade with Astro. Just tremendous work being done by Astro, the impact player so far for the past 3 rounds. He's picked up 3 kills this round, possibly more to come, and definitely a member of Santos Dexterity to keep an eye on for the duration of this series. Looks as though we will have Nox Gaming opt to go into that top floor site yet again, into the Arsenal room.
Atacantes precisam localizar e desativar as bombas.
And the lockers and the archives. Now they will opt to reinforce this wall this time, unlike Santos Dexterity, who decided, hey, let's leave it soft. Different tactic that we haven't seen before, and this time around, we might see it yet again, but here we go. We are going to have that Doc Brook combination yet again. No Pulse, no Castle, or even a Mira and Echo. This is one of the things that we tend to notice about many of the teams in Pro League, not just with the Latin American scene, but with many of the different regions around the world that are participating in the Pro League, is that there's never a standard set of 5 operators that are always necessary to win a site. And this is proving that. Being able to choose a diverse amount of operators and being able to win successfully and definitively with that is something that we see a lot of times happening here from these top-notch teams. We see Moringa trying to get rid of that default camera, just not making sure. He wants to keep that door closed so that if a defender wants to run out, he's going to have to make some noise before it, giving them a heads up. So there's going to be one little EMP, getting rid of some ADSs there potentially. What we are witnessing, though, from Nox Gaming is going to be a 5-man up-top defense. Not necessarily everyone on site, but there are no roamers on the first floor. Astro's going to try to make his way in first, as he's going to drone out real quick for, I believe that is Gohan. Sexy Cake realizing that that window inside of the office is going to be barricaded back up, or needs to be barricaded back up, so they can't just easily hop in. Now again, last time Leipzord and Astro went head-to-head here, and Astro had come out on top, getting the headshot onto Lipe even after he overhealed himself. So Astro's going to go for another shot here. He's waiting for the perfect opportunity to do so. Right now, he's just sitting still, waiting for some sound indications. Tossing out one Claymore here along the carpet. Again, he's not making it overseen. He's making sure that if he's going to go for the push, if the defender's going to try to rush on out, that he'll run into it when it's too late. Now Moringa's going to have to move on over here. We're going to see Gohan try to move in through the wall. He's flashbanged Lipe. Sorry, Sexy Cake. As he moves on forward, there's 0 flashbangs left for Ash. He's going to have to move forward here momentarily. 50 seconds left to go. In a 5-on-5, still not too much engagement, but we will have to start seeing something unfold here momentarily. Astro trying to go for some aggressive peeks up the middle hall, getting rid of the barbed wire. That's going to allow him to move forward. There is that barricaded window to the left side, so he won't be able to hop into that middle office just yet. But Gohan has taken quite a bit of damage here as Astro still inside of the middle hall. We're going to have the Rook, that is the Doc, going the C4 kill out of Saya. However, a double kill is going to happen with Santos Dexterity, finishing off Sexy Cake and Lipe. Cyber's going to tag one with the SMG-11 onto Astro. A 3-on-2 now, and we are going to see just a moment's notice to go. Diffuser, though, has been planted. And now in a 2-on-2, we have Moringa outside along with Mav. They're going to try to go for this Diffuser kill right behind they're going the long arm of the law. They actually could get this if he doesn't go for it. He doesn't see it in time, and the shots are going to go. He's going to go for it right now, but he actually didn't get it. Orange squad, that's Nox Gaming, going to successfully defuse the Diffuser. And we are going to see a successful defensive hold here on this top floor. Tremendous nerves by the Jaeger, guaranteeing that he's just going to be hitting this without stopping. You cannot fake that type of defuse. You need to make sure that you continue to break that diffuser in that short notice because you don't have enough time otherwise. So with that, we do see Nox Gaming starting to come on back here. It's a 3-2 lead here for Santos Dexterity, up by 1 point, and they are now going to take a hold of this top floor defensive site, which is where they successfully held it last time. So we will have to see if they change anything up or if they merely hunker down and do the exact same thing or something very similar with a little bit of a twist. Another thing to know about Santos Dexterity is these players have been playing together since the start of the Pro League in the Latin American scene. They've played together for many seasons, all the way since the beginning, and it shows in their communication, in their coordination, and in their determination to get the victories of today. Now Saya is going to be on that Blackbeard starting out on the east parking lot spawn. Again, this is Santos Dexterity with a soft west wall strategy for this top floor site. Now, I have to think that that is just so they cannot easily get up there to open it, especially knowing that they don't play with an Ash. Knowing that Nox Gaming does not utilize an Ash in this scenario, we are going to see the Monty come on out, which looks to me like we might be seeing a east balcony into Archives push. We're seeing them rappel up here, so this will be an east balcony push. Cyber's going to get on top as well as Monty. We already have Sexy Cake up here. Saya's going to be working his way, holding down the window, the single window into Archives. Right now he's just trying to get some more information. Calls out the mirror inside of Fountain. And we are going to see this happen. So Smoke, that is going to be Moringa, is now inside, rendered almost useless inside of the monitors room. Right now, he's just going to be making sure that no one can sneak up behind Mav, because Mav is holding down this corridor by the east stairs. Sexy Cake's going to drone this out first. And realizes it's all safe for the time being. He's going to mark out the target there. That's going to be Monty. So right now, we're having just a bit of a standoff. We do have an overhealed Gohan. That's going to be Doc. Looks as though Astro is actually underneath, though. He's going to be coming for a flank. He's looking up to come through the east stairwell, through the atrium. And with enough time and enough patience, he could do just that very well. Sexy Cake going to drone out Mav now by the window. Sexy Cake's going to allow to rotate on over. Mira still inside of the Fountain. However, Cyber does drop. He's going to move inside into Tellers, possibly coming up behind Astro. Astro has decided to get back onto site with just 45 seconds to go. He's going to go for the shot there onto Saya, and barely takes him down. We do have Blackbeard taking quite a bit of damage here. Sexy Cake will fall as Lip will also take massive damage here. Gohan's going to be inside of the Archives, or inside of the offices. Archives looking out towards him. The C4 toss from Cameraman, though, will just annihilate Hugzord. A 3-on-5 at the moment, still full healed Gohan. Overhealing himself, getting ready for the onslaught about to incur. One stim pistol left, 20 seconds to go. Astro going to move forward and actually gets that shot onto Lipe. Cyber now also gets one kill, however, Astro gets another. Last minute alive is going to be Saya. He's out on top of the ventilation unit. They know he's there. You're just going to go for the pre-fire. 7 seconds to go. This is not going to go well for Nox Gaming, and the knife comes out from Saya. And so here we have it. This round will go to Santos Dexterity. Astro securing it for the 3rd kill. He had gotten round 2, he got a 4K. Round 3, he got a 3K. Round 4, he got a 3K. This man is unstoppable. Within 3 rounds, he managed to get 10 kills. Tremendous job here by Astro, just fully helping to carry his team here to the victory, which is about to ensue because it is match point. 4-2. We've got Santos Dexterity up by 2 points. And if they secure this win, that will be the first map of a best of 3. For those of you just joining in, wondering why there's a solo cast going on right now on this channel, it's because Kix, unfortunately, is not faring too well. He's going to be in, he's feeling under the weather. So we do wish him our best, and we hope that he returns soon. But for the moment, you guys are stuck here with me. We are going to finish off, though, this wave this wave on border with a potential Santos Dexterity win here. 5-2 if they can secure this attack phase. Now, Nox Gaming is deciding very much to go with this standard west wall reinforcement. Leipzord going to utilize one of the mirror windows up here. Again, something we typically do see, the double mirror strat. Many a times, though, the double mirrors are actually moved closer to the west wall inside the site. It allows you to see further on down the balcony should you need to. However, I think what they might be trying to do is make it so that the attackers have to expose themselves a little bit more to get the shots down. Now, with attack phase beginning, it is still very early on. You can see the attackers are just getting up to the balconies now. What they're most likely going to try to do here is end up getting themselves onto top floor coverage, try to get rid of the roamers. There are 2 of them. There are 3 of them. You have Hug, Sexy, and Saya. So we see Astro being very cautious as he tries to navigate inside of the break room. Realizes it's all clear. Now he's gotten the call from his team. So this is going to allow him to move forward. And this is where that Twitch drone is going to most likely open up at least one of the mirror windows here. Let's see how that fares. Astro's now making his way here towards the offices. We are going to see him get into an engagement here momentarily. He's now going to place that Claymore down where he did before, most likely. He's going to try to enter into the offices here with Moringa, moving his way, droning out for him. This is kind of that coordination we talked about before, with Astro having people drone out for him. They know he's the impact player. They know he's going to be the one to get the kill should it work out. And we have Saya has been droned out. So now Saya's determined, do I go for a peek? Do I toss a C4 over? That's what I would expect Valkyrie to do in this scenario. Take a C4. However, the nade from Mav looking like that's going to do some damage to Saya and just finish off Valkyrie before she even knows what to do. Now Hugzord will be caught inside of the middle of the lockers, takes a couple shots to the chest as just everyone is here. You're going to have Cameraman trying to fight this onto Hugzord. More shots going in the hands of Bandit, and he will be taken up with a C4 from underneath. Leipzord will finish off Astro and Mav. Now Gohan will finish off Hugzord. That was the Bandit. Now also another kill here from Gohan will take down Sexy Cake. Now a 2-on-3. Tremendous recovery here from Santos Dexterity after the C4 annihilated both of their members of their attack squad. Thermite as well. That's Cameraman dropping the shots down onto Leipzord. Last man alive is going to be Cyber. He's here on site with 1 rotation hold back to A. That's his second to last gas grenade. However, the shots from Gohan will just annihilate from above, and that is going to be GH. That's going to be good half. The map is now over. Ladies and gentlemen, Santos Dexterity has successfully won the first map in this best-of-3 series. So with that, congratulations, Santos Dexterity, but you're not out of the woods just yet. You have map number 2, which is going to be Bank. Now, the benefit to Santos Dexterity winning this first match is that Bank is their pick for map number 2. Now, fortunately, we will be able to see Bank here, obviously. And one of the things I want to point out is that Bank has been one of those maps that has not necessarily been played an overabundance amount. It's one of the reasons is because it is a very large map. Oftentimes hard to drone out the entire floor, the entire map, similar to Yacht and its size. With Yacht having 4 floors and being a very large map. Now, Yacht's not in the map pool, obviously, but Bank is. And that is why we're playing it today here for map number 2 between Santos Dexterity and Nox Gaming. Now, one of the things I want to call out is how important and how impactful Astro was for Dexterity. We mentioned it before that he got his 4K, a 3K, and another 3K, all within this time span of about 3 or 4 rounds. And ultimately, he led his team to victory. Now, one of the things you want to call out there, one of the things I'd like to call out there is that you saw how much synergy worked with Santos Dexterity. They worked together. They knew that, okay, we're going to drone out for Astro. He's going to progress forward. We're going to make solid, clean, clear, concise call-outs, and that's what allowed him to get in and ultimately get some kills. Now, unfortunately, he did stay in place for too long, but let's take a look at some of the highlights here as we do get to see what just happened with Dexterity's victory. Now with these highlights, we do start to see Nox. This is, I believe this is Hugzord's 3K to win the round. Tremendous job on his behalf. Now Hugzord comes on in, he taps 1 kill down, tries to go for another, but just barely misses. This is Astro going for that drop shot. This is his 4K round. Lots of kills happening here by Astro. There it is. Many kills going his way. Now Cyber's going to tag Gohan down on this little fight. And there's the C4 kill onto Sexy Cake. A wonderful toss by Cameraman from underneath. Astro moves in forward. There's going to be 1 killing. Now, this is the beauty of Astro being on your team, is he has a tremendous sense for when to push. He's got great time management skills, wonderful time sense skills, and that's what makes an entry fragger or just an all-around fragger someone of very great importance for a team. That's what oftentimes the deciding factor or the determining factor between a good roamer and a great roamer, or just an entry fragger and a top-notch entry fragger. It's going to be your time management skills, when to peek, when not to, when to push, when not to, and what avenue you're going to take to get the job done. That's also one of the things that we have expected to see from Nesk from time to time, and we have seen it, as well as Astro. Gohan as well. He made quite a showing as well, playing the Ashe and getting some kills himself. On Nox's side of the woodworks, we did see some really good things from Hug, as well as Lipe. Many of the players there today have been doing a fantastic job in today's matchups. We are going to get underway here momentarily with our second map of the day for this matchup, for this best of 3 series on Bank. Talking about Bank, we are going to see the basement bomb site. That's a guarantee. What's up in the air is going to be that second floor site, whether it's going to be the open area and the kitchen, or whether it's going to be the archives and the servers, or sorry, the archives and the tellers. So we are getting underway here with Bank. And hopefully, we'll see just that. Taking a look here, about similar operator choices here from Santos Dexterity coming out. We do not have a Thatcher. Most of the time not necessary, but here's what we were talking about. We know that the basic bomb site's going to be a choice. Guaranteed. Not going to be the first choice here for Dexterity. They're opting to go into that open area. And again, this is, I'm going to say, one of the mind games that they're going to be playing with Nox Gaming. Or Nox Gaming choosing to go here as they're on the defensive side. What they're doing right now is they're toying with the mind of Santos Dexterity, trying to keep them guessing as to where they're going. With Dexterity choosing a Hibana and Thermite together, as well as Twitch, to me makes me think that they were expecting a bottom floor site where you might go into garage with Thermite, you might go into the servers with Hibana, or vice versa. And this is going to allow basically an underutilization of those breaching charges because there's not too many walls that they're going to be using to breach. You are going to have Lipezord here opening up the portion of the wall where he's going to stick his mirror window facing the square lobby. What we are seeing from Dexterity is a lot of droning. These guys are not taking anything for granted. They're not making any assumptions. And they're saying, we are going to make sure we know what we're going up against. Seeing what rooms are clear is almost as important as seeing what rooms are occupied. It allows Dexterity to move and progress forward. They cleared out the stock office upstairs. The P90, though, coming out of Sexy Cake's hands will take out Gohan early on. That's their Ashe, which is actually going to be quite a feat here for Nox Gaming. And taking a look here, we are going to have Hugzord trying to challenge Twitch. Astro, though, with a drop shot to get the first kill for Santos this round. That's going to be Hugzord going down. Astro now knowing there's a crawl-through hole. He's going to look to get another shot there. Now, the benefit to here is they do not know Sexy Cake is still up here. He's going to be in the hallway, I believe. More shots are coming through. Looks like now he knows he's there. He's going to look for the shots. Sees him and goes for the kill. Astro with a second entry fragging kill. Tremendous job here. Now it's a 4-on-3 in favor of Santos. You can see Lipezord trying to go off the shots here onto Moringa. That's going to be the Hibana top floor outside of the square lobby. Cyber realizes drop hatch has been opened up inside of the stock room. They're going to drone that out. That's Astro. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to go either for a floor bang here or just force Cyber out. Shock drone's going to go flying there. That's going to be Astro's second drone down for the count. Leipzord also maneuvering back into the kitchen. Now, Cyber's doing a smart mid-game recovery. He's now creating a crawl-through hole or walk-through hole so that he can rotate to the corridor should he need to. Nade indicator is going to force him back to the window just a little bit as he looks on up through the sky. We're going to see Cameraman, though. He's going to be spotting him out. Now we've got Astro moving him forward. Can he get the shots? No, he's missing his target, but so is Cyber. Astro does have about 5 health left to go. He does smack 1 kill, though, down on 2. Who is that? That is Saya. Saya going down, and ultimately Dexterity just unable to get a tremendous victory on this first round. And we are going to see Santos Dexterity go up 1-0. Now, with that being the first floor, or the first bomb site that we have Nox Gaming trying to go to, and it not being successful in the least, makes me think that they were trying something new. They were going for a risky maneuver, and the benefit did not pay off, and unfortunately that did cost them the round. We are going to see the first bomb site here for Santos Dexterity, though, go into the tellers and archives. Again, not going downstairs to the basement. What this does allow, though, that I'm seeing, and especially with the drop hatch getting opened up right behind tellers, which is a typical hatch to open up when you're playing this site, is this is allowing the teams to navigate through the map in a very efficient manner, almost like using the first floor on Consulate, where you can rotate top floor, rotate bottom floor, use the drop hatches to your advantage, and utilize the stairs to your advantage. There's 2.5 stair sets here, 2 stairs that lead from top to bottom all the way, and the main floor stair set in the lobby, which will be opening, or which will allow a defender to get from top floor down to the middle floor. Now we do have Astro trying to see if he could watch outside towards that top of garage. Most likely that's where Cyber is going to head off to. We see him moving over there at the moment. He's droning it out now. Taking a look over here at Gohan. He's downstairs inside of the site, right inside of the teller's lobby. Astra still waiting for a peek to happen here. Nice Valkyrie cameras, though. That's going to watch out stockroom as well as the Skylight Lounge. This is that top of garage that we typically would see a glass pop onto, and one of the reasons why that top floor bomb site is very rarely chosen. Now we do have Mav being spotted out there by the drone, and unfortunately he's going to have to relocate himself, as we do have Nox trying to formulate a plot to get on in. Leipzord trying to get into the stock room top floor at the moment. Looks as though Astro is also being spotted out along with Mav. Looks as though Mav's still having some bullets shot towards him. Cyber calling this out. He's just going to keep on marking Valkyrie. And unfortunately, Mav is just going to have to bite some bullets until she can get to cover. You can see Leipzord, he's trying to find out where this Valkyrie is, where Mav is, but he's already relocated himself downstairs, out of harm's way for the time being, and there is no dock, so he won't get healed back up, but look at the PDW from Jackal. I didn't even see a Jackal come out of the woodwork yet. That's going to be Sexy Cake, trying to throw it out, and we have seen Jackal on Bank before, and he has proven to be useful. The diffuser is going to get planted here inside of the archives. You see Saya placing a claymore down at the doorway, and Gohan trying to come up from behind here inside of the server stairs. Looking on up, he knows Astro is there, gives away his position, and unfortunately, he's going to have to spend time rotating back around. Moringa now trying to also flank his way into the site. Metal detectors are going off, so he should go through at this point in time to make sure that he's not detected by the metal detectors going off yet again. Moringa, though, going to pop the cap off the head there of Cyber as he takes him down. However, Bandit will fall, and that will be, I think that is Leip. Yes, that is Leip that took the shots down onto him. Now, last man alive will be taken down very swiftly by that PDW on Jackal. That is Sexy Cake coming out and showing a strong appearance here, playing the Jackal. One of the reasons why Jackal is so useful on this map is due to the size, due to the square footage of the map. Bringing the Jackal will allow you to clear rooms more quickly, allow you to progress quicker, and make sure that you have rooms clear or that you don't have a room clear. Those footsteps last for 90 seconds on Jackal's utility, and therefore, if you've been in a room for 90 seconds or less, Jackal will find you.
Atacantes precisam encontrar e desativar o número máximo de bombas.
Now, as I say this, the top floor bomb site does seem to be a very rare pick here for the PC Pro League. However, Latin America is saying, no, we're going to go for it, and we do see Nox trying for it. Now, previously they went for that open area hold and unfortunately did not go in their favor. But they will go for this hold, and they will try to make this work for them.
Segundos para inserção. Faltam 5 segundos.
Keeping an eye here on the reinforcements being placed. They are going to reinforce all walls on the east side of the A site. This again is one of the most prevalent reinforcements, especially because it faces the open area, which is covered by that skylight, which so many attackers will usually use. Astro working his way from that back alley onto the patio second floor, working his way in towards that skylight lounge. He's got drones ahead of him trying to clear out what they can. Cyber has been spotted out by the soda machine. That's going to allow Astro to move in forward. Again, trying to go for some shots down. Cyber, if he peeks out just a little bit more, he will be seen. He gets rid of the drone, but Astro's going to see him here. Another shock drone coming on out here. Now we are going to have Astro trying to get the shot there onto Hugs. However, the shotgun kill, no, that's the SMG-11 kill out of Cyber. Coming right through the wall to take rid of Astro. Gas grenade is going to go flying out, and fortunately that will stop any kind of push that Mav wants to put on in. A 5-on-4 now with a minute and a half left to go. Hugzord still being tagged by some bullets of Moringa. He's going to need to stand still and heal himself back up. You can see some shots going down. He's not going to spot him here. Goes for some bullets and misses his target. Mav still having a tough time trying to get into the stock room here. There it is. That's going to be the kill there from Cyber, landing it down. He will fall. And we will see this east wall by Skylight Lounge getting opened up. Now Moringa has managed to make his way over here with Gohan, going up the circle stairs towards the the west side of the lobby. Sexy Cake, however, is going to take out Gohan, and he takes down another kill with that MP7 to get rid of another member of the attacking squad. He's now here 3-on-2 at the moment. 45 seconds to go. Hug has 0 stim pistols left, I would assume, as he only has about 30 health, 20 health remaining. Leipzord, however, with that UMP, will take down the remaining 2 attackers, and we are going to see Nox Gaming come out of this strong on this top floor defensive hold and go up 2-1 at the moment. Taking a look at the scoreboard here. Sexy Cake showing he's got the stuff to keep his team in the lead. Topping off the scoreboard with 6 kills after 3 rounds. Astro's still doing some work on his with 3. Now what we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, is some very good gameplay. Both of these teams are going tooth and nail. We're starting to see a lot more communication. We're starting to see the droning happening before the entry fraggers enter in, and that's exactly what you want to see. Previously, in some other play days, we've seen some self-droning, which leads to slower entry times. And when you have a team that is dedicated to helping the rest of your team enter in, you're gonna be successful. And that is what we're seeing here between these two teams tonight.
10 segundos para inserção. Faltam 5 segundos. atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now Hugzord is going to get his way up to the ventilation units out by the back alley. What it's looking like we're going to see here, we're going to see this Jackal again by Sexy Cake. He's got that PDW-9, which again is one of the powerful weapons that Jackal has in his arsenal. Again, the usefulness of Jackal on this map in particular is to help clear out the roamers. And this is going to happen with the help of those footsteps and Jackal's ability. Now Gohan, fortunately, he's going to be here on the server stairs, playing it nice and simple, nice and slow. What he doesn't have, though, is a shotgun. Typically, if you're going to play on the stairs, you're going to play with a shotgun. If you're going to play behind the server stack, you will be there with an assault rifle or SMG. One of the things that we used to see with Valkyrie is Valkyrie would choose to go shotgun if she's staying on the stairs, or she'd go with that MPX if she's going to be behind the server stack. Saya is going to make his way into the open area, start getting these drop hatches opened up above the site.
Vou ativar.
Saya still being very cautious as the drop hatches get opened up. You do have Gohan here on the stairs. He's got the barbed wire electrified right above him, so if someone tries to come chase him, they'll be shot down. A little bit of a stun, a little bit of a distraction, if you will. With 60 seconds left to go in the round, we are starting to see Nox Gaming start to rotate and file on down, but they are going to have to deal with Gohan here. And Hugzord is right here, very close on. It's going to be some shots from Jaeger from behind. Astro coming from above. Some great shots there. He's going to try to tag the shots there onto Glads, and he does. A double kill. How do you let Astro all the way up top? And that will be another kill. Sexy Cake, though, takes him down for the count. Now with 40 seconds left to go and damage already done, that's Hugzord and Cyber down for the count. 4 on 3. With Sexy, Lipe, and Saya. Last 3 alive here for the attacking squad. 30 seconds to go. Sexy Cake's going to try to drone out through the hatch here. They still have to deal with Gohan on the stairs. They haven't droned it out, so Sexy Cake's going to try to drop here. Going to do a quick drop into the barbed wire. He's still keeping an eye here, but it looks like the gas grenade might be too much here. Sexy Cake is going to cinch himself down as Gohan comes swinging around. You also have Moringa who's going to tap down Saya. Last man alive is going to be Lipe with 5 seconds and no diffuser in hand. He is going to have to go through the drop hatch, and unfortunately, he will be finished off here by Mav. And that is going to be round victory to Santos Dexterity.
Defensores, evitem que os atacantes desativem suas bombas.
Now we are going to see Nox Gaming. They've chosen 3 different bomb sites so far, this being their 3rd. Let's take a look, though. They've chosen to opt to go downstairs into the basement. Again, one of the most preferred bomb sites throughout all of the high-level competitive play on this map. Nox Gaming, though, trying that open area to start, then going upstairs, now saying, okay, let's bring it back home and go downstairs to the basement.
Segundos restantes. Restam 5 segundos para inserção. Os atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now, if I had to guess, which most likely I am, right now Gohan and Astro, they have their attack roles solidified. Gohan has always been on Ash, and Astro will always be on Twitch, regardless of the map that we've seen so far, because it is their role, and they are very familiar with it. Now, with Gohan being one of the entry fraggers along with Astro, they seem to make a very good combination. Mav and Moringa are those that oftentimes will drone out for them, as well as the Thermite. It's going to be Cameraman. We see Gohan right now working his way towards the top floor. Cameraman just droned out the middle stairs, leading the head of Astro as he continues on down towards the elevator hallway. Moringa now trying to finish off droning out the tellers. And again, this is what we were seeing before, and this is why Santos Dexterity is going to be one of the top contenders this year in the Pro League. They have been a team that continues to drone out, follow up very quickly with the people they're droning out for. Astro doesn't hesitate when he gets a call out. He goes for the kill when he needs to. Gohan, however, he is still going to be up in the top floor of the Skylight Lounge. Moving on over. First, droning out a little bit more information back behind the teller's line. Realizes that, hey, we should probably get our drone over to the elevator. Mav's going to work his way down the server stack, the server hallway. Cyber has been spotted here. Now that is smoke tucked around the server stack. A nade should be tossed around here, but there most likely is going to be an ADS device. So what Mav is waiting for is right now to hear a little bit of running, some information from smoke to then bring him forward. There's actually two. You've got Saya as well back here. Nade's going to get tossed. That's going to get cooked and kill them both. A double nade kill here by Mav. Tremendous. Very well done here by Sledge. Able to take out both Pulse and Smoke. That's also going to be Sexy Cake falling here to Astro with that F2. Last two alive going to be Hug and Lipe. 45 seconds to go for the defensive round. Nox Gaming not quite sure they're going to hold on to this site. Lipe Sword's going to be tucked around inside. That's going to be Astro tagging another kill, 2 apiece. And now last man alive is going to be in the side of the main lobby. He's turning around looking for Astro, and Astro's going to hop on through the window, tag a 3rd kill for the round. This is just tremendous skill, tremendous gameplay here from Astro, from Santos Dexterity. They now lead 3-2. Taking a look here at Santos Dexterity and their defensive lineup. They are going with their standard hold originally. Looks as though they're going back here to the tellers and archives. Again, one of the top spots that they typically pick. Astro still leading the way with 8 kills. Sexy Cake picked up 1 more that previous round. He's now at 7 for his team. Now it looks as though like one of the ways that we're going to see Dexterity try to hold on to this Tellers and Archives bomb site is by investing a lot of utility and a lot of manpower up on top of this top floor. Right now, all 5 members are topside, and this is something that we typically do not see. We do see a lot of holes, a lot of reinforcements, a lot of different avenues and pathways being controlled here by Dexterity. The question is will Cyber get on top of the garage and try to put a runt into their plan? With plenty of time left to go, we are going to see Mav on his drone or on the Valkyrie camera. Hugzord, however, is going to play that Monty, pushing in very slowly into the open area, into the main lobby, which unfortunately is not necessarily the best spot for a Monty to go, seeing as how there's 2 floors he can be shot from along with that 2nd floor balcony, as well as more than 180 degrees in which he can be tagged from. So he's going to have to look very specifically at a location to not get hit. Now Cyber is going to be up on top of the garage. He's going to look to tag anyone he sees here, obviously here. Cyber, however, has not necessarily seen anyone just yet. Sexy Cake moving on forward. Might spot the head of cameraman. No! From above, it's Astro looking on over the balcony to take home that kill into Sexy Cake, and he will go down. We did have Moringa die earlier on in the round. However, that's a 4-on-4 now with 1:37 left to go. Hug is traveling by himself into the elevator hallway. There's going to be 1 shot down Cyber onto Mav. That did about 40, 55 damage to him or so. He's going to be moving on forward towards Hug with a C4 ready to go. He actually saw him, backed down the stairs super quickly, and now he's going to try to flank around. With the majority of Dex trying to move, or Nox, sorry, moving forward to that atrium, Astro's ready to push out again, but he's got to be wary of Cyber. He's going to look for this shot onto him. Now, we did see Astro just get tagged. He's down to about 35 health. Can he go for this tag here? He's looking for the shot. Glaz might be able to see it. He's going to spot him right there. Goes for the kill, but no, he will not get it, and Astro will fall as Cyber finishes him off with the one tap. Now a 3-on-4 at the moment, 45 seconds left to go. Hug has finally made his way over the teller's balcony, over the teller's desk, and now he's moving in forward. Gohan is here. Gas Grenade's going to get tossed on out, force him to back on up. And unfortunately, that looks like it might be the end here. No, Hug has not been killed off just yet. He's inside of the doorway. He can't see much. He's trying to move around. Lipe, though, will tag onto one. He's moved on outside. Shotgun kill from Gohan will tag onto Lipe and down for the count. He's the last man alive with 15 seconds to go. Diffuser in the hand of Saya. They've now called out that he has dropped. They are now going to move on over. He's coming up middle stairs with 1 health and a dream. He's all the way top floor, looking up through the holes that have been made. Now, he doesn't have too much time, but he is trying to get some kills first without having to go a 1-on-3 with 1 health. Glaz is going to be here, and as he peeks on over the balcony, that will be the end of Dexterity for this round. It's now going to go in favor here of Nox Gaming. So it is 3-3 on map number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we did just get done with a border where Santos Dexterity came out on top in a 5-2 fashion. And now we're about to witness Dexterity and Nox go head-to-head here on Bank.
Defensores, evitem que os atacantes desativem suas bombas. Hora de reforçar a proteção.
Now we do see bomb sight from Nox going into the tellers and archives. Again, Nox has chosen all 4 bomb sites. It's almost like they're just saying, look, we know you say that you don't want to go top. We knew you say you only choose 2 bomb sites typically. No, we're going to go all 4. And this is Nox making a statement right now, saying, we know this map. We can go to any bomb site. We can try it at any point in time. And most of the time, we'll do very well on it. They did win the top floor site. They lost their open area and their basement bomb sites. So now it's going to be up to Nox Gaming to try to prove that they have a second bomb site which they can actually hold successfully. Gohan going a little bit odd, going up to the top of Garage, which is typically the spot you'd see a Glaz. They do have a Glaz on their team. That's going to be Mav, but unfortunately he's spawned back alley. We're going to see Astro again going his typical route in through the top of Skylight. Moving on forward now. He wants to get a wall bang here. He's just going to take a little bit more information. Mav's going to call out 1. Now the good thing about the F2 and its use on Twitch is that it has about 240 bullets. A lot of ammo to utilize, and that just gives a lot of wall bang potential, a lot of firepower potential when bringing that F2 to the fight. Up on top of the north windows is going to be Marunga. That's going to be the Rook. He's going to rush on outside, and that's the P90. Now he's going to rush it back over to the servers, or to the cave, and unfortunately he does not get it to the sewers. And Gohan will be there to tag him down. That might have actually been worth it, taking out a Blackbeard for a Rook. A good trade, I would say, for Nox Gaming. Gohan's now going to move inside without any hesitation, moving in forward along with Astro. You see them going side by side, clearing both the north and south ends of the hallway together. Saya is still waiting for that perfect C4 toss. He's waiting to hear the footsteps. He's just going to toss it on up, blows it, and misses his target. No one is there to die. Now we do have Astro trying to work his way down. He's going to call out for the Twitch drone first. He's going to spot 1 right there. He's going to move in forward. Goes for the shot. Sees him, but misses. Doesn't even go there. He sees the booty of Valkyrie there. Tags are just a little bit. Saya now tucking himself back into the corner, prone beneath the window. Gohan, however, will tag the kill there onto Cyber. That is him going down. That is Smoke being taken out with 55 seconds left to go. Now you do have Valkyrie again being down and injured for the count. She will be finished off by Astro. 2 members left to go. It's Hug and Leipzord. You've got a 4-on-2 with 45 seconds left. Hugzord coming up from the middle stairs from underneath. He's now trying to get back. He's picked up 1 kill there on the cameraman. Can he get some more? He's going to go top side all the way to the top CEO office, coming around towards the skylight stairs, where he's going to be looking to pick up someone from behind. Mav, Astro, and Gohan are the final 3 attackers. Leipzord has been pinned now. However, Hugzord coming up from behind. He's going to go for the kill. He gets the 1 there onto Leip. He's got 2 more to go. One's going to be onto Astro, another onto Gohan. Mav has been injured, but he is the last man alive with about 30 health to go. Diffuser is going to get planted here just before the end of the kill. Hugzord will fall to Astro. Here we have it. Santos, Dexterity. Match point, series point for Dex. If they can hold down their defensive site, whichever one they're going to choose, they will most likely, obviously, win this series in a 2-0 fashion and be going up against the winners from the previous game, and which is BFK Esports. BRK, sorry, BRK Esports. Now we are going to see Sexy Cake going with that Jackal yet again. Dexterity opting to go downstairs in the basement for their final defensive hold. This is a smart move. Forcing their way down here and selecting to go down here is one of the most defendable bomb sites, we'll say, on this map. Allows a lot of versatility, a lot with roaming as well. You could put some roamers up top. Most likely, though, we'll see some operators, some of the defenders, some of Dexterity inside of servers, like we saw previously trying to hold down the fort. Gohan was one of the people, I believe, that ended up being in the server stairs, playing a bandit last time. He stayed there for the majority of the round. We'll have to see if it proves to be useful again.
Os atacantes devem localizar e desativar uma bomba.
Now Mav trying to go for an early peek here from the elevator hallway towards the main entry, the triple doors. Fortunately for Nox Gaming, no one's going to enter in that way, so there won't be an engagement just there yet. Hugzord, though, coming in with Twitch at the same sort of angle, same way that we've seen previously from Astro, who plays Twitch on Dex. Leipzord, however, is going to finish droning out forward. He does not have anyone directly behind his drone to help follow up in case he does spot someone. However, we do see Santos Dexterity starting with a 5-man onsite defense. Most of them, as we can see, right around between the 2 sites. We do have Pulse, and I believe that is Jaeger. No, I'm sorry, that is Pulse and Echo inside of the server stack, the server lounge. Saya still droning out some more information as Sexy Cake makes his way into the square lobby, the skylight lobby here, and now he's just going to finish droning out some more here as well. This is one of the things that tends to happen if you are droning for yourself, as we just saw happen here with Sexy Cake. You are slowing yourself down, especially when you have those heartbeat or you have those footprints. You're able to use that Jacko device, spot out if someone's moving around, possibly identify a target for your team. Drop hatches are getting opened up here by Saya. He's going to get both of them opened. Cameraman's drone, however, that's going to be the Yokai. I believe that was 2nd floor elevator hallway. Now Mav is waiting to toss up 1 C4 here. This is looking like it's going to be the open area drop hatch that just got opened up. Mav thinking better of it now, and he's going to go back to the lobby. As Astro still waiting right here. Moving on forward, Astro getting some very good information. He's going to actually kill one of the drones, kills the Claymore, goes on to look towards elevator hallway, now moving up forward. All the way to the top floor. He's going to try to rotate around towards the balcony, come in towards the Archives and Tellers Lounge. Possibly sneaking up behind one of the members stuck inside of Tellers. 30 seconds remain, still a 5-on-5. This is all going to come down to the final moments. Dexterity needs to hold steady, get their C4 ready, and get ready for the onslaught about to incur by Nox Gaming. They're going to push right at the perfect time. Astro moving on forward. No Claymore to stop him. He's going to move on in. Lightsword, however, is going to touch away. He will be finished off now. Another drop comes on through. Looks like Jackal will be injured and taken out. He's going to get killed off by Gohan. Gohan then gets traded out by Glaz. Cyber got one. He also downed Astro. It's a 3-on-3 now with Diffuser about to get planted. And we might have Valkyrie tossing the C4. There it goes. It goes for one. That's going to be 2 people left to go here for Nox Gaming. Diffuser has been planted. You've got Cyber and Hug against 3 members from the defense squad. They've both been killed off. It's Santos Dexterity going to get this win here with plenty of time to destroy the Diffuser. Mav and the rest of his team from Santos Dexterity have just one bank in a 5-3 victory over Nox Gaming, taking home this series in a 2-0 victory. So congratulations to Santos Dexterity, one of the contenders in the Rainbow Six Invitational last February, showing that they still have what it takes to maintain top board in the leadership here in the Latin American Pro League. Santos Dexterity taking that 2-0 victory as we see here. Now, one of the things I want to talk about here momentarily is how much we saw Nox Gaming put forth today. Nox Gaming put forth 4 different bomb sites, tried tactics for all of them, and unfortunately only one of them worked, and that was their top floor hold, which oddly enough is probably the one that people least expected to work. Their open area defense hold to start off the game did not work, nor did their basement hold when they went there, nor did the tellers. So unfortunately, they might need to go back to the drawing board or at least look back at the VOD and try to figure out where some of their mistakes happened. But fortunately for Santos Dexterity, they were able to take advantage of the opportunities missed, capitalized on them, and here are some of the highlights of just that. These are some of the plays here from Border, our first map, which we got to watch previously. We'll have to see if we get some bank clips as well. But here we have it. This is where we had Astro get many 3 and 4K rounds, helping his team to victory here. Astro comes swinging around again. Just fabulous game sense and reaction speed by Astro. You can see he just swings around, gets 2 kills right away, back to back. One of the flaws that Nox Gaming had on that final round was the fact that they seemed to go very slowly, and it was still a 5-on-5 with 25 seconds left. The first kill of the round of that final round, I think, might have been Astro coming in and killing the Capitao at the top of the drop hatch. So again, here is Astro just toying with Blackbeard as he finishes and coming around the ventilation unit. And now, again, just time after time again, Dexterity showing that they have what it takes to become victors. Here we are on our bank play, the map that we just got finished watching. 5-3, it went in favor of Dexterity. Again, this is that top floor bomb ult that we just saw Nox Gaming try to execute. Unfortunately, did not go in their favor. And here's that double nade kill. Beautiful job by Mav. We got to witness that firsthand here, and the shotgun kill from Gohan. This is where it was a 4-on-1. Gohan tagged 1 kill, but just could not get another. This was a risky move by Sexy Cake. He got the 1 kill on Blackbeard, but then got terminated as he tried to get into the sewers. Astro, again, just showing that little pixel angles and good trigger finger can be all you need to really get a kill. Hugzord tagging some more kills, and that will be the final round there. Now, this is the last round here. This is that final moment. 15 seconds to go, and that was the first kill. There were 15 seconds left, and then the first kill happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this series between Santos Dexterity and Nox Gaming. Previously, we got to see some of the plays here between BRK Esports and Merciless Gaming. So let's take a look at the score at the brackets for Group A as we have completed our Group A structure. Now, what we saw here a little bit was some good gameplay, some very good gameplay from all 4 of the teams today. But I want to talk about where this leads to. What do the winners get? What do the losers get? And how do they still make it to LAN? So we're going to take a look here momentarily at the bracket structure, but with the winners going together, we are going to see we're going to see Santos Dexterity go up against BRK Esports in the winners match. Merciless and Nox Gaming going to go head-to-head in the losers bracket. Now, this Group A matchup is not going to happen next week. We are going to see Group B for the Latin American region next week. However, when we do watch the winners bracket and losers brackets go, the winner between BRK Esports and Santos Dexterity is guaranteed a spot at LAN. Or guaranteed a spot in the group standings. Guaranteed to go to that decider match to have the potential to make it to LAN. The loser of the losers match, unfortunately, will no longer, between Merciless and Nox Gaming, will no longer be in the running to go to LAN anymore. And unfortunately, that's going to be the way it goes. Now, Group B, this is what we're going to witness next Tuesday. Again, for those of you that are just joining us or didn't hear earlier, we did have to change the schedule and reschedule this game that's happening today from last Tuesday. Typically, the Brazilian and Latin American Pro League happens on Tuesday evening. We'll go through the schedule yet again in just a few moments. But this is Group B. Black Dragons and Ints going head-to-head, and then Pain Gaming going up against OPK. Now, the Black Dragons you see there on Group B is formerly known as V3 Masters, which made it to the LAN event in Season 1 here in Katowice, Poland. They've changed organizations, and they are now known as Black Dragons. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look and let's talk about the times for the next Pro League games. Every single Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, or 2 a.m. Central European Time if you're over here in Europe, you can catch Monday night the North American Pro League. Next week's going to be Play Day 2, where we go through the Group B primary stages, and then Tuesday, the day right after that, is going to be the next Latin American Pro League season, or Pro League Day. That's also going to be Group B. So next week, Week 2 is going to be Group B throughout all the divisions. You start off with North America Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you have Tuesday, Latin American, is going to be at 7 p.m. Central European Time, which is also going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Same time as Thursday, which is going to be the European games, the European Pro League Day number 2. And that's going to be starting again at 7 p.m. Central European Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. if you're on the Pacific coast of the U.S. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for joining us today, watching the first ever Latin American Pro League here on the Rainbow Six stream channel. Thank you again, and I wish you guys a wonderful night, and we'll catch you guys Monday evening. See you then.